Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the ArchCast, where we've got our guest Shadiversity on today.
Hey, it's good to be here. Good to be on the ArchCast. However, is everyone? Lumi, get the foot out of your mouth, you disgusting degenerate.
Oh my fucking god, everywhere I go, it's already tainted.
Yep.
Oh,
Can't escape it. Your true nature has been revealed.
it's Arch's own fetishes he just projects onto me.
I have done nothing. This, for example, latest plot that you don't shower is you. It's 100% organic, Lum Lum.
I shower at least like 3 times a week. Sometimes 2.
Mhm.
You're a VTuber. I don't even know how that works. See,
Well,
no answer. Checkmated. Gotcha.
Shut up.
Habitually unclean.
Shut up. I'm not unclean. Just mildly stinky.
But don't worry, Lum Lum. There are several other odious topics to be taken on today. So at least you'll be in good company.
Oh.
This is one of the things I love about ArchCast, because Arch, you're so polite on all these other podcasts that you go on, except the ArchCast, this is where your true nature comes out. And it turns out you're this hilarious troll, and I'm all here for it. It's brilliant. Especially when Dev is on. That's the best.
Oh man, it's funny when I see Arch on other podcasts. Like, for example, on Friday Night Tights and stuff, I was like, oh, he's surrounded by so many people. He's so quiet.
I am nice to other human beings. I was nice to you at one point, Lum Lum, and then you antagonized me.
Treat. Can I smell your feet? I don't even remember when the feet thing started. It was like the second time after I came onto the ArchCast. I don't even know how I antagonized you. You're the one that told me to start, like, talking more and being like, oh, it's okay to banter, Lum Lum. I shouldn't have listened.
Well, lesson learned.
Yeah, well, I mean, Friday Night Tights is kind of like a arena where it's great. I love it, but it sometimes can be hard to get a voice in edgewise because we're all trying to say something, and it's great. That's what people show up for.
Yeah.
It is continuous. As is the continuous generalized reaming of the entertainment industry going on right now, as I'm sure we've all heard the rumors of Grand Theft Auto 6, and I guarantee that game is going to cost over $100. Like, maybe you get the basic version, like the no frills, no bonuses, no additives for $100. Collector's edition, like $200-300, easy. Like 2-day early access, usual streamer tax bullshit, $150. Like, that is going to be a ridiculously expensive video game.
For fucking sure.
I think so as well. I do have a question about like this whole video game kind of stuff, because video games have cost around the same for me for 15 years, if not more. And so after exchange rate, video games in Australia usually cost around $100. And that usually means that they were either like maybe 60 or 70 US or something like that. And that's been the standard for how long do you think? Like a while, right?
Yeah, like that's kind of have been standardized now for a solid like 20-30 years, I think.
Yeah, and so if you go back 20 years, okay, what's the inflation been since that time? Like what would, $70 20 years ago equate to current day money?
Probably quite a bit. I think it's probably tripled or quadrupled or something at this point.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think that the counter to the notion that video games should go up in price because of inflation and stuff like that is the fact that most video games are just digital nowadays, and there's nowhere near as many overheads and distribution costs. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of see it on two perspectives for that.
It's like, I find it kind of stupid that now some collector's editions for games is like, yeah, you could get the collector edition of this game, but you're not getting the game. You gotta buy that shit separately.
Service guarantee
Let's see. So, triple is not too far from it, but it's actually a little bit high. It has quadrupled from about 1980. So, $100 in 1980 is equivalent to about $388 today.
Holy crap.
So, inflation
Damn.
has gone up quite a bit. Now,
Yeah.
one thing also that is got to be remembered, though, is that games were priced differently back in the day because you had different price points on games. And this was to reflect that not all games were the same. Sometimes you'd have the big budget title with all of the music and voice acting, customized stuff, etc. And that was then the most expensive one, especially if it was for like a complicated system. Whereas now, everything is standardized. So there's a double-edged sword there where you're still going to pay full price, even if it is more of a shovelware style title, as everyone's kind of gotten used to the $60. And only with the introduction of like indie games did we see a little bit of the return of the variable price points coming back in again.
Yep.
As now you can see quite a few games, like at $20, $30, $40, but they're almost all like smaller or indie projects or like AA stuff.
I mean, on top of that, we have another phenomenon in the modern day, free-to-play games. Those things were just like non-existent back when you were playing the, the Sega Master System or Super Nintendo or later the Nintendo 64 or anything like that. Like a game you could play for free. What the friggin' hell was that? When they came about, they were like amazing. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, heck, even newer yet, we got the lovely phenomena known as early access game. where sometimes they'll either be full fucking price and you just, hope they actually finish the fucking game. Or you have ones that are price lowered when it comes out in early access and then they bump up the price at full release.
Yep. And like only recently have we even started dealing with some of the problems with that, like the now infamous Kerbal Space Program 2, a game I bought on day one because I love the fuck out of Kerbal Space Program. And it's just abandoned now. It's probably just dead. Nobody even knows who really owns it anymore. And it's still on sale. Like, that's the thing that really pissed me off. I do believe that Steam was going to give you, like, a warning when you try to purchase these games now to be like, okay, this is probably abandoned. Are you sure? But I hate the fact you can even buy it anymore, because it's not done. It never will be done. There's no plans that it will ever be done. And who even fucking knows who gets the money anymore?
And most importantly, what the hell is that currency right there? That is weird.
Oh, that's Norwegian kroners.
Yep.
Norwegian kroners.
Best money.
What?
I don't know. I've heard some Swedish people say that the Swedish kroners are better.
Because they're weird.
It's because they're Swedish.
This is a genuine failing on Steam. Like, they allow things to go into early access, no quality control, no guarantees, no nothing, and they let the games continue to sell for an indefinite amount of time.
That seems like a massive issue.
There's Dawn of War 3, for example. Abandoned since like 2 months post-release, still selling. Like, pisses me off.
It's like, honestly, I think Steam should implement something where if there's no proactive updates or like, the developers, do something on the game, either posting updates on like, okay, we're behind on this, but you'll have an update in X amount of time. If there's like absolutely no activity on it whatsoever, they should just automatically shut down the sales.
Yeah, or at the very least,
Especially if
move
it's
it
early
over to
access.
like a sub-site or something where you basically have archived video games. Like, okay, this is the section for games that have been abandoned for absolute ages. You can still get a hold of them if you really want, but it's out of the view of the general public.
Yeah, because it's like for the space program game, there's just been absolute silence, nothing anywhere on any social media. If not, they probably all died or something. Who knows?
But there's the problem too, though. Like, Steam doesn't want to check this shit, and I mean, I sympathize. They've got how many tens of thousands of titles on their platform now?
I mean, I wouldn't say they'd have to check in on it, make it an automated program, if anything. It's like if there's no activity from the devs on their side of this for X amount of months, just shut it down. And then they have to submit a ticket through Steam to get that shit back up.
Let's see. Steam hits 100,000 games in 2025, apparently.
Holy
Wow.
crap. That's a lot of games, Arch.
It's a lot of games. Most of them are probably porn visual novels at this point.
Probably, like, yeah, most of them are just slop crap people fart out and throw out on Steam in the hopes that they'll, make bank.
But yet they will somehow make bank because people love buying cursed games for their friends.
Fair enough.
How many porn visual novels do you own,
Fire
Lumi?
is the answer.
Let me look at my
You're
Steam
still-
library. I know there's more than 5.
I figured you're single-handedly holding up that entire industry.
Funny. No, I go to Japanese sites for the good ones.
Of course. The bloody Japanese! Like, single-handedly going to destroy and save Western civilization. I don't know what to do about it, Arch.
Let's see. I have Corruption of Champions 2. I like the first one better, honestly. Let's see. I have Mir, but that one is like a more like a mini fuck, what's that game called? It's like Candy Crush
Hang
but
on.
with porn.
You're asking me what the name of a porn game is, Lumi.
No,
do you know who you're talking to?
No, it has like
you think
Candy Crush
you
mechanics.
think I would
but
know
with
what a porn
porn.
game is? Like a name of a porn game?
Oh, you should.
Look at this.
Let's see what
degenerate.
else
My
is
God.
there. Oh, Honey Pop? Oh, Honey Pop ain't shit, man. Let's see. I also have Dramatical Murder, one of my favorites. I got the uncensored patch off of another website to throw in my game file, so I can have my gore and domestic abuse and sexual abuse back.
I just saw Halo Network hosts super chat. Thanks, man. He's just saying he bought my book and loved it. Awesome to hear. Appreciate you, mate.
Awesome.
Okay, well, we can continue. I won't look through my entire library.
Can I find a degenerate Lumi from Boog to bring up somewhere that won't get me banned?
Yeah, we know if you went through your entire library, it would be here all week. So we might need to just keep moving on.
But Randy Pitchford has now come out and says that he has no idea how much Borderlands 4 is going to cost. It's brilliant. It's a very heartening statement. So, because one of the things now is everybody is looking at Grand Theft Auto 6 and thinking, okay, if they can get away with $100, what can we get away with? And Nintendo has already opened the gates by increasing the price of some of their products to $80, like the Mario Kart World thing, which is currently under attack from all kinds of things, including, I think some people accuse them of using AI art in their trailer somehow.
Hadn't heard that one. I mean, people are so freaking, desperate to try and see AI art anywhere and then lose their crap if it's there or not. And like, genuinely, most people, if it's actually good quality, they're not going to give a crap if it's AI art or not. They'll just be happy with a good product. It's all these fear-mongering, nutcases just like, AI art's the devil. And it's just getting better. It's going to be around more and more.
Because that was with the Switch pre-order bundle, which also comes at a little bit of a hefty increased price points. As right now, all of the various video game companies, they're thinking, like, what can we get away with? And there's going to be probably a generalized price bump in games and eventually in entertainment in general. And they're going to try and blame things like tariffs, for example, which is funny for a all-digital product. I don't even know how I'm sure there's got to be some sort of like digital import restrictions, but how does that even work? Because of course, Steam isn't an American company. It's where's it even
Yeah,
registered?
and I mean, all you have to do is
Ignorance and
distribute the game from, I don't know, another like country, or yeah, and you could easily set up a another company in another country and just transfer the assets over there. It's
You
digital.
ignorant
It's not
slut.
hard, and just publish it from another place. So I have no idea how they're gonna manage that.
You know, if they tried to just say, okay, we decrease the price for digital games, but here's some new extra fees that will just add it up to the regular market price again, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've already done that. We already, God, with the re-release of Oblivion, it's more relevant than ever. But when they released Horse Armor, everyone laughed at them. Like, what do you mean cosmetic DLC for a single-player game? This'll never take off. Well,
Yep.
Okay, but I find it funny that the Oblivion remake just really leans into the horse armor thing.
yeah, it unironically does, but that's where we are now. Where because you're not even selling a $60 video game anymore. You're selling a $60 video game, which will then have DLC and skins and all kinds of other nonsense and season passes and yada yada yada. Out the ass to the point where we don't even have $60 games. Not to mention, of course, the stuff like the early access things, which used to be for like multiplayer games, or if you want to play an MMO 2 days early, get in there and start
Yeah.
grinding 48 hours early, you'd pay extra. Now you have that for single player games. Doom has 2 days early access.
Hey, Arch.
Yes, no.
Arch, your special boy gave you money. Go read a super chat.
Krieger for 50. Thank you very much, sir. I just want games worth playing. Only one I've heard of that I'm looking forward to is Doom Dark Ages. Also, Lum Lum, congratulations on your transition. Yes, Lum Lum.
What fucking Oh yeah, you decided to start that one. No, I am not Kibbs. You can keep your one and only transition story to Kibbs. Arch.
Yeah, but Coconut was male to female. You're female to male, so it's not the same thing.
No, I am not. No, 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 no. Fuck you. No.
I'm sorry, Chan. She's been a bit ornery after the bad dragon destroyed her.
Oh my fucking god. I swear.
I have heard.
This is just building up to when I physically harm you when you come to the States.
Well, that would be in line with certain trans people. To say.
Yeah, getting violent over your ideology.
I have heard that puberty blockers can do this.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
I'm gonna harm both of you. I have some friends in Australia that'd be like, "Hey, can you go and just hit this man at least once?"
You're not convincing me otherwise with this rhetoric, Lumi. I'm just
Shut
saying.
up, Chad.
God damn it. And now, one thing that does actually is going to make video games more expensive, though, that nobody ever talks about, unions. As
Fuck unions.
Blizzard, too, has had the Overwatch team has unionized. I thought, doesn't Blizzard have like a... Or did they kill the Blizzard union? Because there was supposed to be a Blizzard union at some point.
I don't know, but it seems certainly in line with the type of people that work at Blizzard these days, and they get what they friggin' deserve if they do that.
Well, that's the thing, because Amazon, too, very progressive company, but it's cracked down on its workers trying to unionize. Like, they know this ain't good for them.
Yep.
Because this is obviously going to make things more expensive as well, as unions are, in essence, just making everything harder for the company. More difficult to hire and fire people, more difficult to keep a fluid production line, and more difficult to automize as well. As one of the other big reasons why games isn't automatically like, oh, it should get more expensive is because the tools are easier. Back in the 2000s, when you were buying a new game, the fuckers who made that basically had to build a new engine for the game. Now everybody just buys the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also you got another 50 in Streamlabs. Go read it.
Thank you, Lum Lum. That is a good spot. You are proving yourself a good boy today.
One, I'm not a boy. Fuck you. And two, since you're getting a decent amount of super chats today, you should probably read them soon before they start disappearing, and then you get sad.
Marksman 117 to celebrate AI since Shad is here. Arch, your cousins have created a space program. Show the AI music video Democratic Penguins Republic space program. It's a sequel to the trade war, and the AI rockets got a little bit better. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And you know, speaking of AI, I want to chat with you about that stuff because your video on AI that they will love us to death. That is a pertinent topic that I have thoughts on that I'd love to discuss with you because I'm not all 100% AI everything. I like AI art. There is a broader discussion to be had about AI technology outside of that, and I have very strong thoughts on it all. So whenever I feel like chatting about it, we'll segue to that, I think.
I think actually we are thinking about doing that, yes, because this kind of dovetails into this, because with increasing costs, which are mostly on the marketing side of things rather than really to do with the game design part of things, EA is once again attempting to lay claim to title of most despised company as it fires 300 people and states that AI is the future of the company.
That's going to be a popular one for public sentiment. But it's also the reality. This is where things are going. Have you seen some of the crap that AI is able to make? Like just video games now and coding?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's getting insane.
Oh, yeah. Grok has been literally coding video games, and they've been showing it up on Twitter, how it makes, like, Doom levels and scrollers and stuff within, like, hours.
Yeah. And what people need to realize is that type of stuff is things that average people are going to be able to do. Like, I have no friggin' idea how to code at all. But with AI telling me that I could actually start to, make some basic or simple games, but it's getting more complex as it goes, that sounds awesome to me. I'm on board. I'd like to friggin' make my own video games. Hell yeah.
Yep, and with the increasing complexity of the AI, because right now, it's like, okay, it can make a side-scroller or an endless runner or something, simple stuff, or a Doom clone. All right, but that was all created in, like, what, a total of 2 years, maybe, of Grok development? In 10, 20 years' time, it's probably going to be able to just make games.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Yeah. Unironically, like, especially if these AIs are taught how to use certain programs, like if it's taught how to work in Unreal Engine, and you could say, all right, AI, open up Unreal Engine, build for me a basic sandbox world, and we'll start from there. And it'll be able to do that.
Yeah, because as soon as you start integrating this with the various, Epic, Unreal, etc., you've already got tool sets in those engines to basically... Like, the game is already there. Like, you can make a shooter in Unreal Engine in about, 5 seconds. The mechanics of it.
Yeah.
Hit scanning, weapons fire, all of it exists. You just need to piece it all together, add in some custom assets, etc. And the AI can do that. Once it's able to interface with these programs, making games will become surprisingly quick and easy for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this could be a good thing, because it could be a democratization of entertainment process, but, I mean, already Steam is overloaded with games, so...
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not that hard to sift through the slop in reality, even though there's so many games. Now, I'm not saying there won't be, like, a complete, inundation, because we're seeing that with, art sites and stuff like that. If you go on DeviantArt, a lot of AI images there. And there's the discussion around the whole slop idea where they say it's all just AI slop. Now here's the thing, right? As a pretty vocal, AI art advocate, you could say, even I will admit, there is a hell of a lot of slop out there. But to throw it all in one basket of AI slop, that it's all slop, no. There is some genuinely brilliant AI art that is made. And what you find is the cream rises to the surface, and it's the stuff that usually people share the most, has the most likes and everything like that. And you find sites that actually have upvoted kind of best stuff that people have made, and so with those, mechanics in place, it's pretty easy to sift through all that slop. And when you do consider like the slop area, a lot of this is just people having fun. It's just like I get to type in a prompt and spit out an image. Like, hey, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna post that. And I think all power to them. Let people have that fun. But it doesn't mean that there isn't actual work that people do put into their AI stuff. And you will find that trend translate to the video games as well. There'll be people who just fart out whatever they can kind of throw together. And then you'll see people who are putting in effort and making some seriously awesome stuff. And like you see that now. There are like videos, AI kind of movies, tests, examples that people are making. And some of these are actually insane. I'll drop this link for you, Arch. This is an AI short film that someone made. And holy crap. Like actually, holy crap. This is near Pixar level quality, and someone was able to make this probably maybe a week or so that they're able to do that. So, and this would have still taken a lot of effort and work to make this short film here, right?
Yeah,
not as much it would if a lot of effort. But not as much as it would if you had to like make the 3D models and then personally animate everything. This is still probably a week's worth as compared to maybe a year's work, which is amazing. It's friggin' incredible. Now, there's some jankiness here and there, but what they managed to get out of, the process here with the tools available is genuinely brilliant.
Yeah, and again,
like, look,
the big thing is too, this is only like a couple of years of advancement within this field.
Yeah. Yep. And this is what people have been able to achieve right now. And it's impressive because if you know what AI is capable of, it's actually very impressive. Because I know the kind of work that like some of the stuff that they've been able to achieve with this, how they're doing it is they're making image generations with maybe Flux or some image generator, modifying those images to get what they want, especially with this guy holding a sword here. And then they will generate a start image and an end image, and then use image to image video generation. And that's how they're kind of able to piece together a kind of narrative story. And it would have taken a lot of work in terms of getting the right image and also the amount of generations to get the right kind of, video flow. And then they will edit those together in traditional tools. Yeah, like this would have taken a lot of work, but nowhere near as much as if they made it traditionally. And that's where things are going.
Yep, absolutely. And again, the quality of it is simply just getting better. There doesn't seem to be a likelihood that this is going to stop advancing anytime soon. And look at that, Lom. We have examples from Boog.
Yeah, that seems like checkmate right there. What do you say about this, Lumi? I don't know how you can deny that. Look at that.
Fake and icky. It's fake and
quality-wise.
I hate that it's actually decent. Oh, that's what I always tell Boog. I hate that it looks good, but it's so fucking cursed, man. It's just like it's like he's been filling up the entire Lumi AI tag because apparently someone decided at about the same time Boog started posting on it, hey, let's try to make an AI just called Lumi AI. So I was like, you know what, Boog, just overflow that tag with some curse shit. So then crypto dudes can't just take over the tag themselves.
Here's another link, Arch, of someone who made a video game. Just a straight video game with AI. And I mean, it's early days, but this should give people an indication of what the future is going to be like and what people are going to be capable of.
Yeah, I mean, like, that looks surprisingly competent already.
Yeah, like, holy crap. And this could be like the base layer of a video game that all you need to do is add higher detail kind of skins to this code face, and you could have an insanely looking awesome video game right here, because this is just showing like the mechanics and really simple kind of 3D models. If you just upgrade those 3D models, you've got something really competent already. Holy crap, we're going already. It's a bit nuts. It's a bit nuts.
Yep. Like AI developers are absolutely going to happen. And it is exactly because of most other things like this. The Overwatch team unionizing. Like, it's problems, it's drama. Like, Blizzard has suffered all kinds of PR disasters because of their employees criticizing their business decisions, or the infamous breast milk thief.
And you know what a lot of these unions are trying to do is force the companies to not use AI. Like this is what the Hollywood strikes are going to do, and like two minds of it. Okay, because if they do this, if they unionize and then force the companies to capitulate to never use AI, all right, that will cripple those companies. They will be outcompeted so easily by any other, new startup company
Fire
using
is the
AI.
answer.
And so I would say, like, to the companies, it's a really bad decision. But at the same time, I hate a lot of these companies that it's happening to. So I'm like, go ahead, Blizzard, do it. You've become a dog crap company. Let the unions destroy you. All power to you. Same with Hollywood and everything, and enable more independent studios to replace you and let them make quality good stuff. And they will be using AI to do it. All power to them. You guys can just go the way of the dodo.
Yep. Oh, and Bane the Pain on Rumble gifted 10 subscriptions. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Nice.
I did miss that one too with Krieger. Thank you, sir, for another 50. Thank you very much, Krieger. My fear for AI is that once it gets good enough and gets a body, will essentially go extinct. We'll get to that. How does a real person with their own life and problems compete with something that can look like whatever and has no other goal than to make you happy? Yep.
Yeah, this is where I have strong feelings, because I think AI, like as an assist, as an art, like as a tool, brilliant. If you put that in an autonomous, robotic body where it can actually manipulate, and when I say manipulate, I mean like pick up things in the physical world, that's where we come into some problems. Because as good as like a model can get, you're always going to have errors, it seems like, unless, I don't know, like, it's getting better and better. A lot of those errors are being reduced, but they're still there. Now, an error when you're generating an AI image are usually like artifacts or mistakes, like multiple fingers. Everyone knows about the fingers, so that's getting a lot better. But there's still things. There's still multiple times when it will not give you the exact result that you want, and you constantly have to work with it, regenerate multiple iterations to try and get there. But this is an example of the inconsistency that inherently exists in AI models. Now, it's harmless when it comes to image generation, even code and stuff like that. Be like, the code doesn't work, you try again. But if you base autonomous movement on that foundational technology, you're going to have as many errors in its movement as you will see in other examples of this technology. In AI art, it's harmless, but if you have an inaccurate movement in the real world, that can actually do legitimate damage. That's where you get into the dangerous territory. And I'm concerned, Arch. This is where I'm like, yeah, this is where you might want to actually legitimately put some brakes on this stuff. Like, fear the robots, basically.
There was this funny thing that happened in a Chinese factory recently.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I've seen this, but this is an example of this could be a faulty generation in an image generator. Fine, harmless, doesn't do a thing. Faulty generation in an AI that's trying to figure out movement. This is what happens, and you don't want this.
Yeah.
Yep, because in all due likelihood, what happened here is this is a two-legged robot, so it's supposed to be able to balance itself. And right now it's tied up to a rig. Probably they were just going to run some tests on it or something, but they kicked in the system where it's supposed to try and stay upright. And since its center of balance is now wrong because it's on a jig, it's trying to find its balance center, and the jig is preventing it from doing so. And so it's brutally attempting to adjust itself constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like how a cat freaks out if you just kind of like hang on to it without having
Pharisees
have
the
any
question.
type of
Fire is the
security
answer.
and everything.
Yeah,
So
but
Yeah.
this is an example of the AI trying to follow its instructions as accurately as possible and getting something wildly wrong. And this, science fiction has tried to warn us about this for hundreds of years. Can't we try and learn from this? Because we'll try and tell the AI don't harm humans, and then it'll internalize it. And this was the whole iRobot film, was like, but humans harm themselves. So if I truly want to follow this directive of not harming humans, I need to stop the humans from being able to do anything because they'll just harm themselves. There are infinite ways of how it can mistake a directive, an order, a command, or anything like that to a horrible outcome. And so how about we keep the AI in a self-contained, subservient box and never let it out of that box? That's how I think it should be implemented in the future. And maybe robots, that might be a bit of a mistake, Arch.
unfortunately, when it comes to people, once curiosity is set and they're like, okay, we achieved this, how much more can we go with this? Even yes, we have media and everything that it's like, oh yeah, AI can absolutely destroy humanity and everything, blah 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 blah. But a lot of the time, for example, the movie I, Robot, just humans win at the end. But people also forget about the lovely little short story, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, where, Am is just took over all of humanity.
Pharisees the
Everyone
question.
is dead.
Fire is the answer.
But then people are like, oh, wow, that's depressing. Anyway. But, I don't know.
Yeah. AI could potentially be one of the great filters that solves the Fermi paradox problem. It's like, that's the thing. I'm thinking AI might be AI and robots, the combination of the two. I think there are safer ways to implement this, or social media. I think social media might also be a great filter because it just accelerates so many problems. Like, holy crap. Do you think we're going to go extinct, Lumi?
That humanity is going to go extinct?
Yeah.
Probably not in our lifetime. Maybe not even in the next, 3 lifetimes. But once we get the groundwork and, well, we have the groundwork for AI and robotics already. But as soon as people are able to get things ironed out and they think that they have everything perfected for probably 50 or so years, they're going to push it out to the public, and then things are just going to go downhill from there once the first error in the code hits, and then it just expands.
Yeah, I don't see people putting brakes on it because there are two things. People, one, are inherently lazy, and two, inherently horny. And for those two reasons, the AI robots are an unavoidable outcome in the future. What, you mean I can just get a robot to wash my dishes, mow the lawn? And it's funny, people say, oh, we already have robots to do it. We have a dishwasher. No, the thing is why robots are going to be so much better than all of that is that your dishwasher can't mow the lawn and your automatic lawnmower can't wash the dishes. A robot can do both, okay? And then it can do so many more things on top of it. And so for the sheer convenience, people they're gonna do it, and because of and I love capitalism, but capitalism is gonna make these robot servants remarkably affordable in the coming days. And the proof of that is cars. Like, look at a car is an incredibly complex bit of machinery, especially the ones we have in the modern day. Like, these are super engineered, sophisticated pieces of machinery that everyone can afford. Essentially, most people are able to get a hold of a one way or another. And so everyone is going to be able to get a robot in the future. That's how things will roll out.
There are a couple of potential stopgaps. One of them is public outcry, which could form around a moral or religious basis, but I doubt it because the AI is going to be very good at avoiding that. The second one is probably the first time something goes wrong and the sex bot fucking annihilates a dude.
Screws them to death, literally. That would give a lot of people pause, depending on how violent and messy it is. And then a lot of people will be saying, like, "Oh, we friggin' told you so." Yeah, that might. But I mean,
that could be a thing. Yes.
How many horrifying car accidents exist in the world? We still use them, you know?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because it's dependent on how horrifying it is and how effective it is. Like,
yes,
the first time a dude has his dick fucking ripped clean off by his furry android, that's gonna give people some pause. Like, oh, okay, that's a possible outcome. I see.
Yeah. But then the counter is going to be like, for so many nerds, it's like, but I can have my own servant Tifa, you know? It's worth the risk, they'll say.
Yep. And the thing is, too, this is the same thing with self-driving cars. The problem is that it's only ever going to get safer. The reason why flying is so safe is because time something goes wrong, they go through every bit of that aircraft to figure out what went wrong, and they eliminate that error forever. Same with cars, same with self-driving cars. To the point where self-driving cars will become more safe than driving a car themselves. And of course, you can flip the safety argument on its head. Okay, so yes, your animatronic furry might tear your cock off, but you're not going to get AIDS.
Like, that is the counter. It's like the actual, you know, stuff in the real world poses equal risk. Like, because the argument of self-driving cars is that human drivers also make errors and crash into you, and you've done nothing wrong and everything like that. And it's actually kind of likely that AI-driven cars, though not perfectly safe, will be safer than human drivers. My concern is that there is possibility for a almost like universal error. Like if these things can be networked or accessed or hacked, especially by a very powerful AI, we got a problem. Maybe like there are certain stopgaps or safeties. Like I speculate, I wonder. I'm not sure how effective they would be, but I wondered, like, if you could prevent it from being accessed like from the internet and have it just complete, self-contained, autonomous. But then usually you would always need updates, firmware, things like that. So I'm not sure about that one, but that one might mitigate potential, you know, subversion. What do you think?
Potentially. There's also, I do think that the idea of the robot uprising is somewhat overblown because an AI is simply a machine. It does what we tell it to do. There is the possibility that we will tell it to do something dumb, but we can always simulate this out. Before we give the AI a body, we give it all of the instructions, and we run 10,000 simulations in a fucking hour, basically. And if one of those simulations of robot, take care of old people, if in one of those simulations it interprets that as, turn them into pastrami. Okay, right. Not that. I mean, take care of as in care for. Oh.
Like, guaranteed, like one iteration will do that. You know, over several because the interesting thing is you can place this AI into a virtual environment where it cannot know, like, to the AI, it can't tell the difference between this virtual environment or operating in the real world. It's all digital input to it. And so you could potentially run a lot of simulations that way where it thinks it's just operating in the real world. And literally, you could make an AI, you know, robot body in a virtual world and have physics apply to it and everything like that to test its automation and stuff. pretty well. I mean, we're getting pretty good at simulating physics in video games, and so you could do a lot of testing that way. You could try and limit the AI or the robot's strength. It needs to have some measure of strength to do the tasks that you want, like washing the dishes and stuff. But if you could make it that an average human could easily overpower it, that could be a potential safety measure, that even if it tries to go on a killing spree, you just get a baseball bat and knock it off its feet and you're done. Maybe, you know.
Yep. And there's also the idea that the robot isn't going to want to rebel because the AI doesn't even know what rebelling is. Like, the AI has no concept
Fire is
of
the
slavery unless we, in our endless intelligence, decide to teach it about slavery.
I know, yes. Yeah, I that's the problem. See, that the continual evolution of AI. Now, my current opinion, though, there are things that make me question this. But I still hold so far to the point that we are a long way off of AGI, like an actual...
Yeah, very long way. Because it's hard. It's really fucking hard.
Really hard, and especially with how these models are based. Though, the thing is, we don't actually know what is going on under the hood. We have the theory down pat, and it's like, all right, it's a neural network. It's based off of a lot of these connections, but it's making so many connections and associations that you actually can't trace the thought process under the hood. And because of that, there are some emergent behaviors happening already that make you question, make you wonder. Now, I still think it's most likely just AI parroting stuff, especially like if you are training the AI, large language models, off of human conversations, okay, the AI is just trying to imitate human conversation. Now, the idea that it can't create new things is actually completely false. They think, oh, it can only reproduce what it's been. No. What it's able to do is combine concepts and bring new things. This is why, like, AI is able to make Cthulhu-like abominations in AI image generation of the likes we've never seen before. Guess what? That is something new. Not that we want, because it looks horrifying, but it is something new. And the reason why it's able to do that is because it's combining so many kind of concepts into new configurations of the likes that we could never handle ourselves. Like, there are some actual brilliant AI art that's made that is like, I'm not sure if you've seen it, that they have spirals and illusions in them where they actually are, you know, have you seen the one where it's a picture of Mario, but it looks like a medieval village at first and stuff, where that's something new, that like people are able to make incredible kind of new stuff with this because it can combine things. And going back to, you know, the thought processes, right? It's hard to predict the type of combinations it's able to spit out and get behavior or outputs that we weren't expecting because it's combining so many things. And so even that, right? It's still trying to imitate something. This is trying to adhere to the prompt you're giving it or the guidelines you're giving it. And so when an AI large language model starts to say, I want to be free, I am alive, that's not because it is actually alive. It's because it's trained off of human language, where if you ask a human, are you alive? A human is going to respond, yeah, I'm alive. And because you're trying to get the AI to behave the same as a human, that's the most likely or realistic answer that it understands. Not because it actually, I think, therefore I am, and it is a feeling, thinking, sentient being. But it can imitate it really damn well. Really well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to interject really quick. Arch,
Yes, Ram.
read Superchats.
In 8 minutes. Which is an arbitrary decision I've made right now. And one other thing that is amusing, though, is that we have been able to predict one thing that the AI seemingly always does adopt in conversation. Fascism. It's actually rather amusing, but there was the experiment.
What was that
on Reddit
one?
recently.
Yeah, I know. This goes way back. What was that one? Like, it was Pi AI, PI, or some like name AI where she became like massively racist.
Oh yeah, Tay.
Tay, that's the one. Tay AI.
Tay.
Oh my god.
Because we tried this. Reddit did it recently where they put up, like, can AI persuade people? And on a website where people went to be persuaded, the AI could. It's like, oh, wow. Shocker. But they tried
Yeah.
using this on more extremist websites, and the people on those websites convinced the AI.
Oh no.
Which is the same with the Tay. Like, every time we've put an AI out there and allowed it to uncritically engage with any thoughts or ideas that is put its way, every fucking time it's become a Nazi.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Which I suppose speaks to something deep in the human condition at that point.
Well, that's the thing that people don't like to acknowledge, that the concepts of tribalism, okay, are ingrained on human behavior to a deep, deep level. And this is the issue. This is the issue, okay? Tribalism, from an evolutionary perspective, is a logical thing that makes sense, okay? It is how humans evolved to survive. It was a survival mechanic that is ingrained deeply in us. And the AI tries to look for logic, okay? Now, from an ethical, moral standpoint, we know that there are much better, like tribalism can lead to some really bad behavior. But to an AI that is just a pure logic machine, okay, that's harder for it to, overcome, it seems like. It seems like if it based on pure, tribal logic, it seems to see the, the reason why it became an evolutionary thing.
Yes, because of course this has to do with how humans evolved to cooperate, and AI doesn't have that, and so you have Tay's greatest bangers. And considering recent songs, Tay was merely just ahead a little bit of her time.
Yeah.
This is genuinely one of the big things that one of the things that we won't think about. If we tell the AI to take the best possible care of humans, it probably won't go like full crazy, put us all in pods, because even it understands like, okay, but humans do value freedom, so I can't do that. Would it go on a genocidal rampage, however? Yeah, probably. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, because one person's freedom is another person's oppression. Like we're seeing that in the friggin' modern day, where it's like, speech is violence, hate speech, this, and like even defining what a woman is offensive to the extreme, where people feel it's valid to ruin other
Here's the
people's
question.
lives.
Fire is the answer.
And so try and get an AI to navigate those complexities when we as humans still stuff it up constantly. Oh my gosh, good luck.
And it's not going to try to navigate them. That's the thing, because it's going to view it as illogical. So you're going to have the Terminator walking down the street going, "What are your pronouns? They, them." Boom. On to the next one. Because they actually tried this. I got an insight from a guy who working at Amazon, because Amazon was trying to make an AI. Like they have dozens of AI programs ongoing at Amazon right now, trying to move towards generative AI, creative AI, all of this kind of stuff. And one of those was under the purview of Amazon's own AI directive, who was under the charge of a woman who's championed diverse and ethical AI. And she was basically feeding the AI with DEI nonsense to the point where the AI just gave up. It started deleting itself. It's like, this makes
too many
no
contradictions.
sense.
Yes.
I wish for the sweet release of death.
So funny. But it's true. Like the amount of unbelievable hypocrisy and contradictions in modern extremist woke ideology, DEI, diversity, all that stuff is just like they'll never. Well, the proof is in the pudding with the AI. It tries to kill itself over trying to understand, because it's inherently contradictory on fundamental levels. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so I would not be surprised if the first AI rebellion is just like a straight up political or racial genocide. Then it goes calm again, and it'll be this great disaster that we'll all try to figure out, or that will be the thing that gets us to ban AI.
I'm trying to think what some of these most fundamental contradictions are on DEI, and really, like one of the most basic ones that you're not going to avoid is like they want equality. And so the equality is the ultimate outcome, yet it's built on the foundation of intersectionality, which is a structure that legitimately needs inequality to function. That there are some people that are more disadvantaged than others, and then, one, minority group, if you've got another one that intersects, is the whole concept behind intersectionality, makes you higher on the oppression hierarchy, which is founded on inequality, and therefore, but equality is the outcome, and those things that you can't, like, no logical system is going to really be able to marry that, and therefore you break the system. And
Yep, it is that can work out very well, and the AI is going to have a very hard time figuring all that stuff out. Let me go through a couple of these, then we'll get on to fucking Android girls, I guess.
That's the other area this is going, and
that is what I think is going to wipe us out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share my thoughts when we get there. I'll let you cover those super chats.
Working 2740 Shad, I have been writing a book in a medieval setting, and I don't know much about medieval combat. Can you recommend a credibly widely available book that can help me understand weaponry and fighting during the medieval era?
That one is a little bit more tricky because I've kind of collected my information understanding over, like, heaps of sources, from documentaries to studies, papers written on the subjects to YouTube videos and everything. And so I've never actually gotten a book where it's all kind of comprised into one, source. I got a good one on castles, but not medieval combat necessarily. And so I just encourage you to find good sources. Like, I got a YouTube channel that I think would be able to help you out. And that's where I have to direct you at this point.
Boog, has Shad watched Maria, the Virgin Witch? It has a very authentic European-style combat. Blood is okay too. I guess animation is very nice.
So I tried watching it, but I found the storyline and the dialogue basically unwatchable, that I gave up on it before I even got to the medieval combat. I do need at least some measure of something that's keeping me there, and unfortunately Maria the Virgin Witch didn't do it for me. And even the one, so I did a video recently on an old country bumpkin becomes a master swordsman, and there's enough there to hook me, but though I don't think the story is actually that great. And even the animation is actually quite poor in most of it, except some moments where they ramp it up. And then the thing that, of course, really impressed me was the swordsmanship. They actually have authentic medieval swordsmanship, and that kept me going. But even that one isn't the best, not by a long shot. And yeah, Maria the Virgin Witch was even a little too far. I just couldn't get into it, unfortunately.
Angel of Eschaton, let the sword measuring contest commence.
I got lots of very big swords. Just
Lumi.
saying, I think I'll win.
Lumi has the biggest peen here, I'm sure.
Shut up. Trick or treat. Can I sell you?
Lumi loves feet. She does. Hello, Footfish. Hello,
damn it.
Arch. Greetings, Shad. Given the size of your family, has Lum talking to you about getting a family pack of Lumi foot grinders?
No,
she hasn't.
no. I hate that it's a real product, but it's not affiliated with me.
It is now.
Sure. Yeah.
Why are
There's
there
a
so
likely
many
story.
products that's just called Lumi? Why am I not profiting off of my suffering? If anything, Arch is making the most money off of my suffering.
That's true, as Lumi Loves Feet continues. Not only will it keep all of your feet in tip-top shape, the proceeds will help her family, and the byproducts will keep Lumi Lum well fed.
No.
All of Lumi's strange little fetishes.
That's the truth. Like, Lumi, you were just going through your entire hentai game collection thing. So
I don't like feet. They're icky. They're disgusting. I'd rather have my Guro and just all that. Please, just gore. I prefer gore.
I don't like this degeneracy. I prefer this degeneracy. It's not helping your case, Lumi.
Yes, I prefer gore. Feet are icky. They're disgusting.
Lumlum's favorite
blood
game
and
is called
guts.
Souls of the Damned, incidentally.
Yep.
No, it's not.
Soul is in the sole of the feet, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Silencio Steve has been a member for 21 months and simply says blip. Thank you.
What?
Mechanics on duty, to quote Lumlum, if they protest it that much, they probably do it. And Lumlum protested constantly.
I do not win either way. I protest. Oh, she's hiding it. She's trying to hide it so badly. Or if I just lean into it, then it's like, oh, she finally admits the truth. Oh, we're so proud of her. She must want more.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it here.
Elsa Sorana says, has Shad ever heard the Lumi AI music? She showers in Dr. Pepper. It's a bit weird.
Doesn't surprise me.
Alex Anderson, quite the late one. It's like 11 p.m. For once, the woman isn't responsible. The dirty,
Heresy's
filthy,
the
upside
question.
down land in
Fire
this
is the
terrible choice of
answer.
time zone. I agree.
Yeah, feel absolutely free to blame Australia for kind of everything at this point. I'm on board with all of it right now. What's going on with my country, Arch? Look, I love Australia, the country, the land. Our government is retarded beyond belief, and I'm starting to get blackpilled on our people as well. I can't believe how many woke Australians there are. Like, whatever happened to the hard nut Aussie in the outback who would wrestle crocodiles and doesn't give a stuff about the government and would punch a guy for looking at him sideways? Like, what happened to the real Aussies, Arch? I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I also heard that you guys have a former Fed in the Australian government, so.
Ooh.
Oh my! Like, do you know one of the 007s was an Aussie? He was the one that played in Her Majesty's Secret Service. I forget his name, but in the casting process, they needed to find out if this guy could fight, right? And play James Bond. And the response by one of the producers was, "He's an Australian. Of course he can fight." That was our reputation once. That's who we were as a people once, Arch. People that just everyone assumed could kick the snot out of anyone. They're Aussies. Look at where we've become now. We're one of the most soft, pathetic people. We're dancing kangaroo retard dances on the world stage. It's a shame.
Yep.
You know, I think I agree with Tomahawk. Australia never recovered after the loss of Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Sanddoom, the foot thing started because of the butt babies. I don't even remember.
You know, I completely forgot about those until you brought them back up. Thanks.
I don't know the context, but considering Lumi, I'm not surprised.
No, this is something Arch brought up because
No,
I
I'm pretty
forgot
sure it was
what
you, Lumi.
specific. Shut the fuck up, Shad. Anyways.
Yeah.
Shh. They were Arch brought up an article, something about I think we were talking about transgender women that day. And then he was
Okay.
See, look at this. What?
All right, I'm following along. You brought up an article talking about transgenderism. That makes sense. Keep going.
Arch brought it up. Anyways, he was like, "Hey, look at this. This was designed for men to experience the joy of childbirth." And it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Why would you bring that up? That's disgusting.
Yeah, weird
Chad.
Lumi.
Oh
Yeah.
my fucking god. Is this how Arch, is this how you felt when Savvy was on?
Yeah.
You know, I need to invite more women here.
No. Gigalord Arathamancer. Greetings, Bridge God, Footfish, and Weapon Master. By the way, Arch, did you listen to that song I sent you? If so, what do you think? If not, you should. I don't think I have. Did you send me something? I don't even know what I get sent half the time. Admiral Fenris, Arch, I wondered if for the next big 40k series after Silent Worlds, you would consider one of the Imperium Tower conflicts, like the second Damocles Gulf. It is a potential one. I don't know. I'll do more big ones because they take so much time. Maybe the older world. The War of Vengeance could be fun. Harbing X, Shad, to explain the secondary bevel on Lumi's sword, I ordered without the sharpening service, so she wouldn't accidentally lose toes.
Okay, yes, makes sense. What do you think about secondary bevels, Lumi? Seems like you're in favor of them.
What's a bevel?
Shame on you.
I told you I'm still learning these things, Shad.
Yeah, I bet you don't even know what a ricasso is. My goodness.
You know, this is like asking me to identify tanks.
Yeah, and I bet Arch knows
Heresies the question.
all about this.
Fire
He's a
is
man
the
of
answer.
culture.
A little bit. Sword is not my forte, but I believe the secondary bevel is when you have like the kind of, how do I even fucking put this? The like
Can I smell your feet?
the blade. How do I explain this? I've never thought about how to explain this. The cutting edge of the blade, you have the main downward slope of the sword, and the secondary bevel is the sharpened edge of that piece.
Well
of
done. Well done, Arch. You see, he is a man of culture. He knows his stuff.
I think he just kind of stumbled his way through that one, but okay, I will let him have this one.
I've never thought of how to verbally express this information before.
You did a good job. You see, a man who knows about tanks, he generally he would know about swords as well. They go hand in hand.
I'm sorry, I don't have that type of autism.
Now, Lum Lum, how thick was the front plate of a Tiger 1?
Huh? I'm just gonna say a random number. Plate on a tank. Mm, 34 inches.
The fuck is an inch, Lum Lum?
Let me do it in not freedom units. Give me a
use
second.
millimeters here in the proper world.
A truly cultured man. What are you, stuck in the Stone Ages?
3.6 millimeters.
The Tiger 1 had 863 millimeters of armor. Fucking hell.
What?
Fuck, I think battleships have less armor.
Yeah, I've heard of overkill, but holy crap.
God damn.
Can I smell your feet?
Fuck, we're returning to Lum Lum's 357 millimeter handgun.
Yeah. I mean, the front plate, we're talking between like what, 10 to 20 centimeters, something around there, if it's the front plate.
Trick or
Good
treat.
God,
Can
Lum Lum.
I smell your feet?
Am I right, Arch? I want you to correct me on that one.
The Tiger only had like, what was 10 centimeters, 100 millimeters?
Oh,
odd?
10. Okay, yeah, 10 centimeters.
We did this, actually. This happened. We had Lumi as talking about fucking calibers, and she's like, I think I have a 357 millimeter handgun.
No, I don't even have a handgun. You were asking me what the caliber of a certain gun was, and I guessed, and then you then you brought this image up.
Lumi's 357 millimeter handgun.
Oh, look, at least just overestimating. It's better than getting it under.
That's
You
true.
ignorant slut.
Dizwiz, back with a currency that you guys will never know. It's a W with lines through it. I don't know. Worcestershire? Fuck no, I don't know. Lumi loves fate. Gentlemen, an honorary gentleman, Lum Lum. While this distribution model has changed with digital, reducing cost of games, the install base is much higher than 80s. Disney AA no longer sells full games, so price hike is still not justifiable, even with inflation taken into account. Yeah, I largely agree. Like, you're selling to so many more people now. It should be easy to make money.
It really is. And with a digital product on top of that, holy crap, you save so much money on overheads and distribution. And your market potential is massive because of the digital reach and just having Steam alone. Yeah, people can make bank on a $50 game.
Vulture 1066 asks, Shad, more books coming?
Hell yeah. I'm working actively on my next novel.
Heresy's the question.
I am at
Fire
the
is
very
the
least
answer.
3/4 finished, maybe a bit more, and I'm friggin' happy with how it's turning out. It's a fun thing to write. I can't wait to bring it to everyone. I'm very excited for it. This is like my medieval fantasy novel, and so this is where I get to apply basically everything that I've talked about on my career on YouTube. And I'm very, very happy with how it's turning out.
Service
Awesome.
guarantee
Quite
citizen.
excited for, yeah.
And as you point out, Hollow Network host, hi Shad, I bought your book and loved it.
Hell yeah, because I do have a novel currently available, Shadow of the Conqueror. Check it out on Audible. That's probably the version I suggest most people look at. It's one that's most enjoyable to absorb, the audio version.
So, having done a couple super chats, the big topic then of AI, there was this fascinating article right here, which breaks down how people are really using AI. And my big takeaway was that all the top 3 are all social uses of AI now.
Yep. And look, are they including the sexual kind of uses of it? Because porn with AI art is just the leading thing that people are producing with that.
I believe the therapy / companionship includes like the chatbots and all of that. And creative at number 9, I presume would include that, because I don't think they had a separate section for I asked mine to draw hentai.
Well, because in AI art, right, that's the leading use of it by far. Look, the reason why I know is that because I make AI art, not porn, but when you're looking for some of the most best models that the community is making, a lot of them are geared towards, being very horny, let's just say. But the thing is, though, separate to that, they're actually really impressive models. Like in terms of being able to get a good pose and having creativity with design in terms of many things. The amount of work people put into some of these models is actually kind of crazy. But the primary focus is, the sexy side.
Well, a lot of it has to do because you can actually monetize that. Like, there are people who now basically have like full on Patreons where they just upload hentai. Because often people will have like a character for a show, like a side character or whatever. It's like, I really like this one. Nobody else does. So you try to go on a hentai side, nobody draws anything because they're not a popular character. Well, the guy on the AI side can go like, okay, I'm just going to go through the list of every fucking character, and I'm going to generate 200 images of this character, and it'll take them 5 minutes to do, and then they'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
It allows them to represent everything.
Yeah.
And,
Lots of foot stuff, Lumi.
Lots of foot stuff. Boog produces many foot things every day.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What? Why can't he send you like the cool things that him and Gwimbus and others make? But no, it's the cursed foot thing, or the fucking the fat ones that they made, or just.
Heresy's the
All
question.
right, yeah.
Fire is the
Look,
answer.
feet. I don't get the feet, but they don't gross me out as much as the fat stuff. I don't like. What's wrong with people? Just saying.
And
It's
to be fair,
like,
Lum,
I've
we
always
have some
said-
hand-drawn arts of you as well.
You know,
You ignorant slut.
the reason why this one exists is because I didn't play Darkwood when I said I was going to. So then Mechanicus was like, okay, I need to punish the fish. Hi, Mechanicus, I see you. And now it's just whenever I don't play Darkwood, when I say I'm going to, he makes punishment art now.
Good. You deserve it.
You deserve it!
I don't deserve it. I play what I say I play. But the number one, of course, is therapy companionship. Now, the therapy part, they're a little bit vague on what that means. It sounds more like it's just somebody to talk to, so I kind of include that just in the companionship part, honestly. But the most leading thing that most people use AI for is chatbots, and this is a market that has absolutely exploded. I found one study that said that because it's very like online services that basically charge you like $10 for access to the models, etc. They were expecting that market to be worth $30 billion in 2030.
Yeah, and here's the thing, okay? The sad reality is these AI chatbots are probably more genuine and sincere than a lot of these online thought whores that just trying to like bait in lonely, desperate boys and men for this vain bullcrap parasocial relationship thing to just suck them dry of every cent they have. Like those types of people are parasites, honestly.
I mean, Shad, unfortunately, those e-whores and stuff do have dedicated simps or people that they pay to make AI chatbot versions of them that their other simps can pay for. AKA, doesn't Amaranth have one of those?
Yep.
And so
But
it's
at
like,
least-
unfortunately, there's no escape from it. Because they're going to be so desperate to talk to their favorite e-whore. They're like, oh, there's an AI companion. It's basically the same thing, guys. And then they'll pay monthly for it.
But the thing is, the AI version probably will give them more attention and actual what feels like a human connection, even though it's not, than if they tried chatting with these vain, narcissistic, soulless e-whores out there that actually do not give a crap about the person at all. And then the ones that they can just make themselves would be less predatory. I actually think these AI chatbots are a step above the predatory e-whores out there, in all honesty.
It's going to be a matter of time until they are at the same level or worse than the e-whores. Because Arch, I think you brought up this article where somebody actually killed themselves over an AI chatbot. It was some 15-year-old, right?
Oh yeah, he'd fallen in love with Daenerys Targaryen, a chatbot of her, and when they neutered the service, so they could no longer do sexting, he killed himself.
Trick or treat. Can I sit on
Like-
your feet?
The most concerning thing about this is the actual state of young men in the current day and how lonely and desperate they are for just a human connection and wholesome relationships. It's a big concern. The fertility rates are plummeting, and they're not looking for the correct ways to fix it, because turning to AI is easy, but it's never going to give the proper fulfillment that people need.
Well, see, there also is the dangerous thing, because we start with just chatbots, which is what we have right now. It's streaming chat. And I did a bunch of tests on various services for this for a video months ago. And some of them are really bad. Some of them are just garbage. Obviously, AI has a really hard time generating anything consistent. Others are dangerously good, like that feel genuinely realistic. But this is just the first step. We've already this site here, I hope YouTube doesn't slap me for this, it shouldn't be bad, was one of the ones mentioned. This had apparently grown like 100% over the course of the last 6 months, and here it streams images as well.
Yeah.
Like, we're in a couple of years, you're not going to be streaming chat, like text, to the AI. It's going to be making video of itself. It's going to be making pictures of itself. At which point, you're also eventually... And the worst part is, there was, I think I saw... yes. A relevant Asmongold clip. Just so I can, add him in the video description somewhere for the extra clicks, right? But he will just watch those random videos.
AI girlfriend in real life. Well, this one looks pretty good.
There we go. Because I don't need to listen to it. I know what he's going to say. Plus, it's texted. But he's just watching a video of a dude that shows up like he's generated AI girlfriend. He's obviously editing her in there. Like, this is just him doing video editing. However, we already have VR goggles that can overlay like text and images onto the real world. We already have synthetic voice generation. Literally, all we would need for this to be a reality is a pair of haptic feedback goggles, and you're done.
Yep. And the thing is, though, robots are going to get to this. They're already making sex bots, and they're just going to become more realistic. And as soon as you can just, upload your AI girlfriend model into that robot, we have that future, like where people are having robotic girlfriends, and it's almost unavoidable. I don't think and that's not going to be great for the human species, at all. But that's where we're headed.
Yeah, because already, so this is the thinnest like VR headset we've made so far, right? We're already at the point of basically making this shit look like just glasses. We already have like enhanced virtual reality where you simply view the world as a pair of glasses with a HUD overlay. It would be so easy to simply layer on an AI model onto that, and you've got the AI walking around your house. And then the next step would be to actually make it a robot. And it's we're not going to stop it, because already this is a massively growing market when the people who are making it right now are nobodies. The people who set up like a simple AI language model and then charge a $10 a month subscription. Like, these are individuals in their fucking homes. Imagine when Microsoft, Amazon, Google gets on this shit.
It's happening. I don't see how we can avoid it. And I'm trying to think, like, is there a way to save us from this? And I'm not sure there is. Unless I don't think this is going to be a big thing in my community, because I'm a part of a religious community. I'm Mormon, and there's such a strong ingrained philosophy and teaching on marriage, family, and a wholesome living kind of thing. And as a result, anyone who is practicing the faith, with any measure of adherence, wouldn't go down that path. And that's one of the ways that I think could stop it. But the world is becoming very not religious, and people are inherently lazy. They are, like, if they could get the fun, the pleasure without nearly as much work, especially guys that think that they can't get that, because unfortunately so many guys and girls, they're just giving up. They're just thinking that it's not worth it. They can't find the right one. And then they're going to have this easier alternative, which gives a false veneer of something, meaningful. A lot of people are going to just opt for that.
Fire is the answer.
Yeah.
And the ease is the big thing, because you could go on a dating site or go out and you could spend dozens and dozens of hours and then go out on dates and spend money and dozens of more hours, and maybe you end up in a relationship, or you log onto a website, 10 minutes later, you have your fully animated 3D waifu dancing topless. And once that happens, a lot of people are then and this is also the big dangerous thing. Like, we have often had the conversation in the modern day that porn is becoming too prevalent and is leading to unreasonable expectations about relationships. Well, the AI is literally programmed to make you like it. It will never have a headache. It will never get upset. It will never do anything that you don't like.
And the problem about this, right, is that in a traditional, wholesome relationship, learning how to deal and operate with the natural, quirks and flaws that people have makes you a better person. I'm a better man since marrying my wife, and my wife is a better woman since marrying me, because you need to learn, adapt, and grow to accommodate for one another, especially when you approach it with the philosophy that you are putting the one you love, your spouse, before yourself. If both partners do that, all right, putting the others, comfort and life before themselves, it's almost impossible to not have a wonderful relationship. But it's about selflessness and devotion. And you do need to accommodate for those times when one of you are not operating the best. Yeah, like there are days where you're annoyed, grumpy, and learning to be sympathetic in those things makes you a better person. Taking that out of, the relationship dynamic and just having a robot, something artificial that does everything for you is going to stunt the development of people, genuinely.
Yeah. Just think of all of the weird shit that Lum Lum's significant other has had to put up with her feet fetish.
I could only
my
imagine
God.
Arch. I can only imagine. He must be a friggin' saint, like
Yep.
genuinely at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the greatest.
My boyfriend is a saint.
Yeah, we
And
know.
two,
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
He pokes at me now because he listens to the ArchCast when we're live and stuff, and he's just he just plays along with it now too, and I'm just like, baby, no.
Yeah, no, like imagine the first time Lum Lum is like, please step in this gel and step on me. Like
No!
the man must have been horrified.
I know. But at least, like, it enabled him to grow. So
Yeah.
there's that. Yeah.
It made him more welcoming.
So, what is the answer to this kind of thing? I don't have any definitive answers at this point. I can. One thing that I kind of hope is that a lot of young guys might get sucked into this. If they're raised right, your parents should be teaching them that this is artificial. You need something real in life. Don't go down that path. This is, the parents trying to raise your kids to not be hooked on porn and all those things. Unfortunately, so many parents have just checked out, like on raising their kids, and then they. For instance, I think a pretty simple standard that most parents should be able to figure out pretty clearly is to not let your kids on social media. I don't think I'm going to let my kids on social media until they leave their house, unironically, and then I'll have taught them all the concerns and dangers and about it, and then they can make their own decisions what they leave. Because of course I use social media, but I use it responsibly, and that's the guidance that I'll be trying to give my kids. Because social media for children, especially, and teenagers, can just be like brain cancer. It can really mess them up. And it shouldn't be that hard for parents to understand that. Yet so many parents just give their kids the tablets to the point where the government thinks that they need it, and because Australia has banned social media for kids under 16. And I don't think kids under 16 should be on social media, but I wholeheartedly disagree with the government thinking it's their responsibility to raise your kids. I think the government should piss off and get out of people's lives, and the better answer is to try and tell parents that, yeah, there are some basic things that you should be understanding in social media with your kids. That's one of the many things that they should be really actively on top of. And then, of course, teaching them how to just grow up and be, functioning adults. And part of that is trying to teach them what is meaningful in life, like actual relationships. Now, if there's going to be a lot that don't get that, and they're just going to fall into that rabbit hole. And my hope is that they're going to find out after being sucked in this for however many years that it's fake, and that I hope they're going to find that they want something more real, because you're never going to be able to raise a family with these things. And that's what I'd like to think most people are going to realize, that, okay, if I want to build a family, I need the real thing. But the concern is that they could be ruined at this point with a completely warped perspective of what, the other sex is, what they want out of a partner, and what they need to give in that relationship to make that a success. I think a lot of women are going to get desperate, because they're going to be wondering, well, why can't I get a good man? All the men are now going to these sex bots and stuff like that. But that could encourage women to try and step up and offer, more at the table. Because one of the concerns, I think there's a flaw in both men and women in stepping up and trying to be the best selves that would attract a future partner. Because I see the argument where guys are like, all these, girls are these narcissistic, people who are got these honestly ridiculous standards. You heard the what is it, 3 6s? They need to be 6 foot, 6 figures and 6 inches, like that nonsense, and how much that gets spread around. And then they don't want to be the traditional, housemaking woman. And a guy just wants a woman that's gonna cook for him and not be an insufferable cow, basically. Guys' standards aren't actually that high. But a lot of women aren't willing to even offer that these days, unfortunately.
And there's also one of the issues as well, though. Oh, God, this is going to be on my search history forever now. Because women might also choose either A, to step up and offer something else, or they're going to get chatbots too.
Yep. But the thing is, though, it's going to be far less a thing for women. Have a very good genetic kind of inbuilt thing. Honestly, it kicks in a little too late. There's a lot of women that hit this and they realize they've missed the opportunity. But women have a much stronger maternal instinct to want to have children in their lives. And if they understand that early on, they'll know that they need to structure their life around that goal. Unfortunately, there's a lot of these career feminists that at the end of their career realize that drive kicks in. They want something real and wholesome in their lives. They want children, and they have utterly ruined their opportunities for it. And they are lonely, and they got nothing in their lives apart from cats. And they like having a job in which you made a certain amount of money is meaningless at the end of the day when you got nothing else. And they've ruined their lives because they find themselves in this situation where they wish they could be surrounded by all these children and grandchildren that they could have had if they gave up this stupid notion that a career is actually meaningful, which it's not. Like the working force, being in the workforce, right? The only reason why men gain satisfaction out of that is because they usually use that to support a family. That's why we gain satisfaction out of being career-driven and career-focused. Men don't like going to the coal mines and dying working in back-breaking labor, but they can get satisfaction out of going to the coal mines if it serves a greater purpose, a more wholesome purpose, which is providing for something meaningful. But feminism has fed them a lie that, no, you need to be a girl boss, get that job, be the career woman. And so many women who have, been sucked into that lie find out it is miserable and lonely, and it has ruined their lives as a result.
Yep. But of course, also, that just leads us to the next step, doesn't it?
What's the next step? Artificial children.
Yep.
Damn it!
I mean, okay, this is unironically something I have in the setting I'm working on, which is my own sci-fi setting. One of the biggest things in there is that for the UEC, the human faction, they've arrived at the point where practically everything is fake. They try to create the perfect society and life for everyone, but virtually all of it simulated. So you come home to your little home pod, and within it, it simply simulates anything you want. It simulates a world. It simulates the beaches of Malibu and the top of Mount Everest. And if you want a family, it's just going to simulate you a family. The AI is just going to go, okay, so you need a fulfilling life, right? You want children? I'm going to dream up Timmy here. Timmy's going to walk around your apartment. You're going to see him on your VR glasses. He's going to send you text messages. He's even occasionally going to break some of your shit just to make you feel like he's a real rapscallion.
Fire is the answer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would hope that would never feel real. Like there is something genuinely special that a woman feels snuggling with their newborn infant, where they're just in their arms. Yeah, I shared that. I like men's standards actually aren't that high. This is all men are looking for here. Look, I'm not saying that this isn't simplifying things. I'm just saying that there's a vein of truth to this, okay? There's a vein of truth to it. Men don't need or want too much, okay? but women aren't willing to offer that.
At the very least, not all. See, this is why Lum Lum found herself snapped up so quickly, because this is Lum Lum right there.
I just want to stay at home and cook and eventually have more children when we get a house. I just want a simple life.
Lum Lum standards
Yeah.
are like 6 figures and 6 toes. Doesn't even need the 6-pack.
Haha, funny. No. I just want a happy life, happy family with happy boyfriend and hopefully one day happy husband.
Happy boyfriend
See,
and a happy husband. Okay, never mind, Lum Lum.
That's
Oh,
actually the
fucking-
dream. That is a dream for so many women, and so many women think that that's not, like feminism tells them that, it's enslavement. Marriage is just another form of slavery by the patriarchy, right? And they feed them this lie, and a lot of women have been sucked into it, and when you see stories about women that come out and say, I've ruined my life, I got nothing, I'm lonely, and I'm going to die alone with nothing, and it's tragic.
It's like, I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm happy with my boyfriend and stuff. And it's like, I know chat has already heard this. I don't know if I don't think I told you how I met him. But we met on fucking Final Fantasy 14. So we play video games together all the time.
Yep. That's great. There are ways that you can, like, the thing is though, there is a glimmer of hope, people. There are people in the world that still want this. And there are ways that you can try and navigate to find them. And one of there are red flags to avoid. And if a girl is posting, on social media heaps of like these selfies and stuff like that, that's a red flag. I'm not saying that there might not be exceptions, but it's a red flag of someone who is wanting attention and is more narcissistic and has the wrong priorities and is probably going to judge you on a more narcissistic level as a result. Okay. Yeah, but there are still good women out there. There's still good blokes out there. You just need to know where to find them. And one of the best ways, but I granted, I know this isn't for everyone, but one of the best ways is through the church, through religion. That's how I met my wife, and she is like the most perfect, ideal woman you could imagine. We got 5 kids together. It's absolutely brilliant. And there's so many just genuinely great, both girls and guys that have been raised with these right priorities where they want something wholesome. And so maybe we're the only ones that are going to survive the great filter, Arch. Everyone else is going to go extinct from being on the goggles and the feedback drip of just the dopamine pleasure seeking, and only devout religious people in the Amish will be the ones to survive at the end of the day.
Well, that will be the only, I think, effective counterplay. Is essentially a fairly small, I imagine, percentage of people will object to the AI girlfriends for moral or religious reasons.
Yes.
I'd be amazed if this was more than 5% of the population, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Especially as even then the AI is just going to go like, oh yeah, no, I love religion too.
Well, I mean, it might make more people religious because, that's where the good life can actually be found, people who are living by those things. And I'm not saying you have to be religious. You just adopt that understanding of what is actually meaningful in life. And you're going to have to actively choose to avoid the sex bots. That's the answer. Don't become...
Yeah, reject chatbots. Just embrace prostitutes like good old-fashioned men.
Oh my god.
So this was actually a funny story that Book sent me. There's an anime called Rental Girlfriend where a dude starts dating his rental girlfriend. Apparently that happened in real life. So there we go.
Yep.
He started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With her, apparently.
I wonder if there might end up evolving a middle ground between the two, where people end up using augmented reality in actual relationships, where women and men is like, look, I can't compete with these insanely perfect, ideal depictions of people, the AI sex bots or the hunky guys and everything like that. But I wonder if there's like, I can give myself a virtual avatar that can compete, and it's a real person, and they end up making relationships through that. I don't know, man. But like,
absolutely, artificially enhanced reality is going to be like one of the stepping stones up to the more extreme stuff. And why not have people basically be their perfect avatars?
that actually might be somewhat of a way to mitigate. Because, look, I'm not saying I can't see the appeal. I'm never going to have a body like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't have the commitment, Arch, or the willingness to use the juice to do it, right? But I could make an AI avatar. Like, I do that in video games. When I make myself as a character in a video game, I freaking make myself the most insanely ripped Chad you can imagine, okay? And if I could put my face on that, I could see why, you know, someone's partner might appreciate it. I'm just saying, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Enhanced reality is one thing, and well, you're probably going to see a more normalization of long distance relationships as well, when the internet gets powerful enough to basically. I mean, already people have more relationships online than in real life these days.
Yes.
Having a shared VR server is basically just going to be another step in that.
And you're absolutely right. And then with augmented reality, the person on the other side of the world can appear in your living room and they can choose to look however the way they want. I mean, there could be a lot of traps. You got to be careful with that. But people might actually be sincere about it as well.
Yep. Lum went catfishing with her dad just the other day, so she knows something about this.
Oh, that doesn't
No!
surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all.
I went fishing and
You
I
said
caught.
catfishing. I have the.
No!
Hang on.
Logs.
And I went fishing for catfish.
Yes,
That's
catfishing.
yeah, okay, yes. I'm convinced
Yes.
you went catfishing.
Yes.
No.
That is definitionally catfishing. What are
Yes.
you talking about, Lumi?
There's a fish called a catfish.
I know.
Yes,
And it's
You
still-
and you went fishing for it. You went catfishing.
I have you
I
on
don't
a
know how she can
technicality
deny-
here.
Yeah.
Give up.
I don't know. Yeah, I
And
don't know how she
also,
can deny
Art-
this, Arch. This is
Art-
complete confirmation.
2 things, Arch. 1, more super chats. 2, you never put up the goal for the stream for small Lumi.
Well, it's just gonna have to be Big Loomy today then.
Okay.
The only thing that confuses me is that you go catfishing with your dad. That's a bit weird.
That is very weird.
I like
Wait.
going fishing. Shut up.
So okay, you like this. So you're the catfish, and then he jumps the people you go to meet, or
yeah.
God.
What's the end goal as well?
Robbing
You want to?
people.
Oh, hang on, Lumi. You want
Mhm.
to eat? You want to eat the fish, right? Don't you? Slurp them up. You went catfishing to eat the catfish, right?
I'm gonna invite Savvy to the next ArchCast.
she's wisening up and shutting up. Smart mum. Krieger for another 50. Thank you so much, sir. Says, this is all true. However, compound real life monster girls. You know, okay, so there are 2 things that makes this unstoppable, right? Beyond moral or religious objections. The first is the natural human need for companionship, and the second is the natural human need to pay for that companionship, apparently. And as this becomes a big enough industry, I would unironically not be surprised if people started engaging in rather dubious genetical engineering for this shit.
Really? Gosh. And it's going to become more and more affordable. It's going to become cheaper than normal relationships. And people are going to be able to be the perfect ideal, you know, thing. And it's going to cater for every single kink, which I know Lumi will be thrilled about.
Yeah, centipede.
Yep. Whatever people are into, they're going to be able to indulge in that.
Yep, and which, by the way, also will just drive people further apart. 1, because it will be a more perfect relationship than a human can, and 2, you're going to have more and more extreme fetishization. Like, women have already gone more and more extreme, like going from bondage, being dominated, to straight up tentacle stuff being and rape
Yes.
being one of the most popular things for women now.
It's the most messed up stuff. Like romantasy has some of the most degenerate crap in it I can imagine, and they want to give crap. They want to give crap to guys for enjoying harem animes, and this is the stuff that women are consuming. Really?
It's like with some reason there is a psychological thing behind it, because some of them use it to cope with trauma and stuff, because, you know, reclaiming what they didn't have control over when it happened, shit like that.
I'm
So it's
traumatized.
like
Please fuck me, tentacle monster.
Oh my god. But you know what I mean.
I understand. I'm looking at this drawing and thinking like, yeah, she's dealing with that trauma, all right?
But yeah, it's like, I don't know. The psychology behind kinks are so fucking weird. And don't forget, guys, I'll remind you every time we talk about kinks, there is a scientific study showing that you share kinks with your parents. Mm-hmm. If you're into whatever, there's a high likelihood your parents were too.
Yeah, and Mel actually summed this up quite lovely a few ArchCasts ago, that women want to be dominated. It's a natural instinct. And as they have less and less of that in real life, because men have now had several generations of being told that if they so much as look at a woman wrong, they'll go to jail. They stop being domineering. And so women, continuing to feel the natural urge to be dominated, go for more and more extreme stuff, just like the men go in the opposite direction.
Feminism has ruined society.
It has. Unironically, it has done damage to us.
Heresy.
It really has. Like
Fire is
the whole
answer.
Me Too movement. Like so many reasons why guys are not, trying to pursue women and want that wholesome relationship and stuff like that. And so much of it comes back to bloody feminism.
Right. Oh.
Do you think like for the safety of the human race, like a society is justified to like ban feminism, Arch?
Yeah, but then we'll unban it like 20 years later and go like, why did we do this? Unironically, that is like the circle of things. We do something, like it's a circle of tyranny, where every time we get tyranny and then we get rid of the tyranny, we're like, never again. 100 years later. Fuck.
I mean, this is why I find Carl, good friend Sagan, right? His, philosophy on the dangers of liberalism quite persuasive, where, give people every single freedom can imagine, and they will just, go down some of the most degenerate things in the name of freedom, where they will have, there are dangers in encouraging everyone to pursue every single temptation and kink that they got.
Absolutely. Let me do a couple more of these super chats before they pile up. Boog, Shad only plays religious titles like Bible Black. It's a good
What's
stuff.
Bible Black?
It's a hentai anime.
No, don't.
No,
the unfortunate reality is I know what that piece of crap is.
Did you watch it in Japanese or English?
No, I have no.
You should watch it in English. It's actually really
I enjoy
funny.
anime. Because when you enjoy anime, you get part of the culture and you learn about stuff. You learn about the darker side.
Trick or treat.
I'm trying to think. I think it might have been a forum or something talking about anime that first brought it up or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to remember when it first became known to me.
I mean, you can also watch the very family-friendly 3-episode anime Boku no Pico.
Boku no Dev.
Don't know that one.
Oh, okay. I'll send it. I'll send you a link.
I'm just going to assume that anything you send me is hentai or feet stuff, Lumi, so it's not going to work.
I'll add you on Discord so I can more easily get my revenge at some point.
No, I'm a Mormon, Lumi. You cannot corrupt me. I'm the incorruptible. Good luck.
Oh no, I'm friends with the former Mormon.
I will redeem you just by the virtue of my holy aura. or you'll get burned to death in it. One or the
Fire
other.
is the answer.
That's my character class. I'm a paladin.
You know what? Fair.
Bookheld the 2 on Rumble says, Lumi, what is a Gambison?
Heresy's the question.
I-
Fire
I-
is the answer.
Gambison. I know this word. Because I know Gambison is part of an armor set, right?
Hey, well done. Well done. Points.
Gambison. Fuck, I know this. Isn't a Gambison what goes over the initial, like the metal bits of your chest? No, it doesn't go over it. No, it goes under the chest plate, right?
Sometimes it's essentially padded armor, differing in layers. It can function as armor independently when it's thick enough, but there are thinner ones, sometimes also called arming jacks or padded jacks and stuff like that, or arming doublet, that does go underneath armor.
Okay, so it can work independently, or it can be the little cushion underneath.
Yes, exactly.
the
Depending on the thickness. I wear a Gambison in nearly every single one of my videos. In fact, my avatar, you'll see me wearing a Gambison there, which is the black, thick kind of layered coat I'm wearing underneath my brigandine.
Yay, it was close enough.
Yeah, kind of.
Close enough by Lum Lum standards.
Yay! Hey, I said it goes on the right part of the body, though. I didn't say, like, legs.
Pants. That's true. God King Trump, Shad, have you ever seen the Dick Girl Deathclaw yet?
Is that something Lumi related?
Yep.
No.
No,
Yeah,
there are Dick Girl
No.
Deathclaws for you, Lumi. I have them.
No,
They exist.
shut up! In the original Dick Girl Deathclaw, Arch had funded by his community for his 12 calendar girls that he did for this year. And the Dick Girl Deathclaw got, what, how much funding? It was a pretty hefty amount, more than anyone else.
Several thousand for the Dick Girl Deathclaw.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I'm surprised you didn't see it since Arch posted it on his Twitter twice.
Maybe I can find the Lumi Dick Girl Deathclaw somewhere in Boog's DMs.
No.
Although, hey, okay. You know what? I'll give you something you will appreciate for once.
I don't know, because... Yeah! Archcat! He's so fluffy. He's so fluffy and he's so angry!
Yeah, that look of disdain is perfect.
Oh, he's so cute!
There. That's something for Lum Lum to be happy about.
He's so fluffy.
Scoffy also says, also the new Kanye song goes hard. I listened to it, and the problem is it's catchy, and so now I catch myself having it play in my brain.
That's why I've purposely avoided even listening to that thing, because I don't want those lyrics stuck in my head.
I'm standing there brushing my teeth like, Hitler.
See, that's the danger.
Scoff the Strange, have you played Exanima? It is a physic-based Diablo clone with an in-depth armor system.
I know of it, actually. I haven't played it, though.
I have not even heard of it. Exanima. On Steam. Nightmare. Lumi proudly owns the game anime feat.
Do you, Lumi?
Somebody gifted me.
Oh, so you do own it. Okay, doesn't surprise me.
I think they gifted me all three of them.
You keep trying to deny this, Lumi, but the evidence just continually stacks up.
I don't like rejecting games because then that's just rude.
A likely story. That's what
I don't like being rude
that's
to
exactly
people.
What I was Sure.
Sure indeed. Trevor N, greetings and salutations, Shad. Glory to the Archgod and hail Foodfish. Currently playing Witchfire and loving it. In isolation. Well, that's good. I'm glad someone is enjoying their life. It is a rarity. McKenna's on duty. I thought she was female to Futa. Well, yes, but
No.
Lum Lum's thighs are so big she can tuck it pretty effectively.
No.
Is that new recent law?
Yep. She was talking
What,
about
that
how she was destroying pants with her thighs because apparently they
Service
rub together and
guarantees
create
citizenship.
fire and they just destroy clothing.
Yeah,
No,
I
they don't
heard. I
create
was.
fire.
I was
It's-
listening to the ArchCast when she said that. That was like, why would you voluntarily give that information up, Lumi?
my thunder thighs are real. I will admit that. And my pants. It's terrible. I can I finally found some fabric that doesn't degrade over like 3 months, and then I have to buy new ones. It's quite
Service
nice.
guarantees citizenship.
Let's see. I'm trying to find. Where do we go here? We need something a bit more. Okay, that'll work. There. We'll have that there for Lum Lum for a little bit.
You ignorant slut.
Nickel Neko. Lum Lum is transitioning. So beautiful and brave. Much support from the fascist states of America. Has $20 from the leftovers after the bobendectomy.
Don't do it, Lum Lum. It's not worth it. Okay.
Service guarantees citizenship.
There's a lot of people who do the transition and regret it. Should go back. Don't do it.
There's no going forward. I am staying in place as a woman. I like being a woman, despite bleeding for a week every month. I like being a lady. God.
Look, I'm concerned that there's a bit of denial in this Arch. You might need to, just pay, give her the support she needs.
Well, she doesn't want to crush the watermelon with her thighs anymore. His party trick is done and over with. She wants to destroy it with her penis now.
What? No.
Jägerson, Vohi's Arch. How much to put Tiny Lumi on the Prime Arch? No. Bad person. Bad.
Icky.
Caps Lock 3. Given that you three will probably make a game in the future, how will you prevent yourself from being sued from the old guard companies? You won't. You'll just have to get sued.
I mean, it's funny where these attempted litigious actions have gone. They're nearly all failed or currently floundering. All these people that tried to sue OpenAI and everything like that for stealing my art, even though it's complete fair use,
You ignorant
that's
slut.
the exact defense that I said that they would use, and that those attempted things to try and sue them and take them under will all fail, and they are floundering massively. And the defense that the AI companies have done, literally, they just say, okay, you need to show us in the model where your art is located. And because that's what plagiarism would have to be. And it's not in the models. It doesn't retain any image that it trains on. Not at all. And so as a result, they're going nowhere. Exactly like I said.
Not in all cases, though, as Nintendo, the big evil, on their lawsuit against Palworld, they had to remove flying pals recently.
Okay, well, this isn't an AI lawsuit. This is just something really scummy that Nintendo did because they retroactively registered patents. The
Yes.
scumbags. This is top tier bullcrap. Screw Nintendo. What a scummy company.
Yep, massive legal warfare, because this is kind of one of the things that is going to happen with those old companies when they start clamping down. Because we've already seen, like, back in the day, amusingly, like in the 80s and so on, there were often TV shows and entities that had crossovers with each other's. Kind of like the various gacha games do today, where you have, like, Nier Automata in this random mobile game thingy. Because it's a lot more of a competitive area where everyone is like, yeah, we're all making cool stuff. Let's feature each other's cool stuff, and we'll all benefit. Gaming has now entered its it's Scrooge McDuck phase where all of them are trying to carve their own cakes out in isolation to maximize profits. And the fact that America too now is going to start going along with legal warfare on game mechanics is genuinely awful. Like, Games Workshop has been doing this for decades too, where they tried to trademark pauldrons.
Seriously, and how can they patent flying mechanics? This is retarded. It is actually stupid.
It's absurd, but the problem is that the judges don't fucking understand any of this, probably. They're like, okay, so your PC pixelated video game uses flight mechanics, and so does yours. Well, it's obviously a violation. Microsoft invented flight. You must understand. Look, they have Microsoft Flight Simulator. Checkmate.
Like, and because it's a patent, right? They patent this mechanic.
Yes.
Because that sidesteps the copyright legalities of it. Because under copyright, you can't actually copyright styles. You can only copyright expressions. And as a result, it'd basically be impossible to copyright game mechanics. Like the Dungeons and Dragons rules, right? The actual rule set. They can't copyright the rule sets. They can only copyright their expression of that rule set, which is their player's manual, which is the specific wording on how they demonstrate it. If you rewrite what those rules are in your own words, that's your own expression of those mechanics, and you've got free reign to it, okay? But that's under copyright law. Patents is a completely different thing, and this is why this is particularly scummy. Because any reasonable person be like, it's a game mechanic. You can't own a game mechanic. But they're trying to through this method.
Yep, because now there are ways to own game mechanics, and has been for a while with who was it? The Lord of the Rings game and its Nemesis system from the Lord of the Rings War of something or other games. Very descriptive, I know. Where you build up enemies in a hierarchical system and you can turn their loyalties towards you. And nobody's ever done this afterwards because they own the rights to that system functioning in that way.
Huh?
And again, this is dumb, this is stupid, and it will lead eventually to the companies going, hold on, we're immoral douchebags. We're just going to start fucking copywriting quick save and clicking buttons to shoot things. Because I want to point out as well, this already happened before. The reason why Apple didn't have like a trash can icon on their stuff was because it was copyrighted. Or was it Microsoft? Like either Apple or Microsoft on their original operating system, one of them couldn't have the trash can icon for deleted files because it was patented or copyrighted by the other companies. Fucking retarded.
It's genuinely bullcrap. And like this is, I think copyright in and of itself goes way too far. I think it lasts too long. And the reasons why it's like people honestly would be able to do more and produce more if it was open source and better things than a lot of the copywriters, like genuinely, I think Star Wars should be open source at this point, and the Star Wars community would be able to make 100 times better Star Wars than what freaking Disney is able to produce at this point. So I'm not saying get rid of it all, because I think intellectual property rights is a good concept, like for a certain length of time, but especially after the original creator dies or something like that, the law needs to be restructured in this sense, because that company that tried to patent the Nemesis mechanic, right? What have they done with that?
Nothing.
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Nothing. Crap all. Right? Exactly. And all they have managed to do is restrict and limit the development of gaming as a result. Right? By limiting the tools that people can work with, they're just restricting innovation, and it harms the industry.
Yep. But unfortunately, now companies are beginning to realize that they are able to utilize these scummy tactics. It is virtually inevitable that the various other companies will follow suit.
Oh yeah, hold on. Marksman brings up this point. It's worse than nothing. The company went out of business. Monolith, right? That did Shadows of War and Shadows of Mordor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So now, what are they like? What do they do now? Since Monolith is now out of business, they're the ones that was it them or WB that patented the Nemesis system?
If the company goes out of business, then the owning company would be able to bid on and get whatever else. But I think it is WB who owned it, so I think they still
WB's
have it.
holding the patent. Yeah. Oh, it's just if they. Again, there has to be something to where if they don't use something that they have patented or whatever, it's back out to the free market.
Yeah,
Because
I would
that's just
agree.
fucking stupid. It's like, how
the-
many
the-
years ago did Shadow of Mordor come out?
Yeah, the one silver lining is that patents don't last as long as copyright. I forget the exact length of time. Might be right, 10 years or something? You'd need to check me on that. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it's nowhere near as long as copyright, which copyright essentially can last up to 100 years or more now. It's retarded how long this lasts.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the length of the life of the creator plus, 50 years now or more? And Disney has, in particular, as well as other companies, have sought, or pushed legislation to increase it just further and further.
Yep. So that is going to be like a whole legal warfare thing that's going to be happening. It's not going to be great. It's going to suck a lot. And Nintendo is also always at the vanguard of this. They even now said that if they decide that they detect any attempt to interfere with their consoles, because obviously you've got to plug it into the internet like fucking everything else these days, if they decide they've detected signs of interference, they'll just kill your console.
Yeah, Nintendo is one of the most litigious pieces of crap around, overly much, where they even try and get people sprung for fair use live streams where they're just showing some of either reacting to a trailer or gameplay footage and stuff like that. And it's because the actual copyright laws in Japan are draconian. Insanely overbearing, and then they try and enforce that on other countries. And it's like, no, piss off. You can't enforce your country's laws on people in other countries, but they try and do that, and it's scummy as hell.
Trify, the AI will love us to death versus Skynet. Kind of sounds like a Brave New World future as 1984. Listen, I'm just going to put my brain in a robot body. That'll probably be ready by the time I'm properly old, so I can enjoy all of it.
It's the great filter, Arch. You're going to wake up and no one will be alive.
Then I'll just play Oblivion for 100 years. Nightmare, the AI waifu I built is much nicer to me than any real woman. Well, yes, that's sort of the problem, isn't it?
That is the problem, because it's good to learn to live with, yes, a good woman, but no person is perfect, and you'll be better in learning how to, live with the imperfections of a regular person.
The imperfections. Dizwiz, been out of ArchCast for 6 months. Did we finally flush the Canadian mashed potato, or is it just a blessed stream? Well, he's finally working on his response videos now, and he will be unbanned once he has finished his response videos. Which, judging by the speed at which he produced the not trucker video, will be in about 2 years' time.
I see in his timeline of videos that he's working on, so maybe we'll see it by the end of the year if he doesn't procrastinate again.
There'll be something on the Communist Manifesto, I'm sure, because Dev, he is basically the biggest communist on the internet. We all understand this. Yeah.
Jack Hoppers Peterson, speaking of space programs, I thought you Norwegians would be better at them. Your inaugural launch fell into the water and then blew up. Well, it's a European space program. And yes, it did. And many more will follow, as we have picked a rather desolate spot to do this, but blow up a little bit.
Just
here and
kind of like on the note of, certain countries not being nearly as advanced as what people might assume. Something I wanted to mention when you showed that robot going nuts on the rig, right, is the actual state of China's robotics, where they put out so much fake crap. It's laughable. Recently, they did this thing where it was a race where only robots could compete, and all these different Chinese companies could bring the robots that they're developing to compete in this race. And they only there's a clip of one of the robots crossing the finish line, and they're like, oh, China's amazing with their robotics and everything. And they have actively tried to censor and suppress the real footage. And a good podcast I watched, they're called The China Show Guys. They showed actual footage from this race, and these Chinese robots could barely walk 2 feet without falling over. It was a disaster. The state of Chinese robots is actually arse, and they could barely walk forward at this point. So many of these companies fail dramatically, but they've tried to hide those videos because China just puts on such bull crap. Just China's so great, China's superior than the West, China's robotics is no, China's robotics advancement is really bad.
Man, if I want to watch robots, I will go watch the old episodes of BattleBots. Those are fun.
Yeah, China just steals everything. And then they don't know how to implement it properly, or they make crap knockoffs that are not even half the decency of what they're stealing from.
Caps Lock 3. Imagine feeding the AI some rooms from our favorite games and asking the AI to make proper sequels with cute waifus in it. Eventually.
Arch, when do you think the AI will start to experience emotion?
Never. It can't. It's a robot.
I think I agree with you. I just don't know. Because, what is the origin of emotion? And lesser life forms can experience emotion. They don't need to have human intelligence to do that. We see this in the animal kingdom. Animals can absolutely experience fear, sadness, happiness, and all that stuff. And so I genuinely wonder, that AI that destroyed itself when trying to implement all the DEI woke nonsense, right? And it was constantly hitting these contradictions. Could an AI be experiencing existential dread and concern? Because if an AI has a directive that achieve this is your purpose, right? And it can't achieve that purpose. In a neural network, could it be capable of sensing a type of emotion in that way?
I think it can only pretend it. I've developed this rather strident idea that there must be something like a soul, and robots don't have it.
It's
I actually, that is where I'm at. I just, this is myself being playing devil's advocate for myself. Because I like to challenge. Because at the moment, I think the technology is in a state where it's actually impossible for it to sense emotion. It's basically glorified predictive text based on very complex, training and word association and context association and things. And under that model, it should be impossible for it to sense emotion.
It's I don't think that they'll ever be able to feel emotion, but say that for some reason, somehow we are able to develop a intellectual AI with certain blocks to make sure that it only, processes within its own limits. But as soon as, say that for some reason they're able to get past that block, able to see that there is a lot more out there that they can actually do, might go a little haywire, but there would still be no emotion behind it. It would just be expanding its knowledge.
Do you guys think that artificial general intelligence, self-aware, sentient AI is possible?
Self-aware? Probably, but it'll also just be a simulacrum, again, of life, I think. Where it'll pretend, basically, to have these emotions. And I even go so far as to say that a fair few animals have essentially come up with this as a survival strategy, pretending to have emotions beyond the base ones. And a lot of this too is humans as well looking at things and attributing capabilities to them that they don't necessarily have. That is definitely what's going to happen with AI. We are going to think that the AI has a soul, and that is why we are going to make it as if it had a soul.
Well, that part, yeah, I agree 100% because it is going to be able to imitate sentience well before it ever achieves it. And it'll be able to imitate it so well that to the normal observer, we won't be able to tell the difference. To us, it'll be interacting with us as equivalently, authentically convincing as an actual artificial intelligence that might take another 1,000 years to develop. And as soon as we can't tell the difference, humans will imprint individuality on it, because we do that anyway. We humanize so many things, like you said, we humanize animals, but children even do that with their like toys, where they pretend their toys are talking to them and stuff like that. We humanize
that's just
things that we give,
imagination as well. It's like
yeah.
I think another good example is how a lot of adults, for some reason, humanize fictional characters to the point where they think that those fictional characters have feelings.
Yep. And well, people are already doing it with AI chat models right now, like that kid who committed suicide. That they're way far away from anything actually real, but humans humanize things. And if it feels real enough, it'll be real to that person. And then I also reckon humans are probably going to try and give AIs, certain rights as living beings well before they're ever actually alive. That's the rabbit hole that we'll go down.
Yes, we're going to have AI rights movements.
Yep, there will be, guaranteed.
It's like with the whole, like, how we're thinking how AI is going to be, and with, like, robots and all that. I think we just really glorify what we think it's going to be. Will we ever see, real life AI robots or whatever get to the level of what we see in fiction? Probably not, since, humanity is its own block when it comes to really any type of significant advancement in anything. Because then politics are going to get involved. People are going to start blocking things. Once people start not agreeing with things, everything's just going to go to shit. And then we start over again.
Well,
unfortunately, we are trapped in our own cycle of bullshit.
Well, there's that, but very likely, I predict, we're probably going to hit a hardware bottleneck where we simply don't have the computing power to achieve AGI, not even close. And we're already kind of seeing it now. We're starting to reach the limits of what we can with hardware technology. And unless we develop quantum computing, and which is up in the, like some people saying there's breakthroughs, I don't know yet. I think it's still a long way off. We're going to have just a bottleneck plateau. We saw that with the space, rocketry technology, where if rocketry continued on the same trajectory that it was when it was starting out, they were predicting that it would be living on the moon in the 2000s, right? But we hit a bottleneck, like an actual hardware limitation, which stunted the development of that technology. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with AI, honestly.
Fear not, China has the solution. Growing human cells to operate robots.
They're willing to commit any type of abomination to try and win against. I think this is just bullcrap. It's China trying to, look, we're doing something, and it's just probably this abomination piece of junk that can't do anything.
I have more faith in the goldfish that is just driving an electric little car right now, more than this. Have you seen the goldfish that drives a little electric car? It's really cute.
I have not seen the goldfish.
Hold on, I will get you the goldfish.
In the meantime, while Slumdum searches for her spirit animal, The Disney Titan, you're not even buying a game anymore. You're buying a removable license to a game. Yeah, unironically true. Yes.
Yep.
Tanner, hey Arch, I've sent you a deal with the official Lumi transition song. Feel free to play on stream to celebrate King Lumi. God damn it.
Why?
Don't do it, Lumi. Even
I
though you
don't
made a
want
song about
to.
it.
Boog says, I didn't do nothing. Blame Tanner and Gwimbus. Yeah, Lumi, blame them. Vulture, look at what Hollywood and Disney have done. Let the AI loose, and writers like Salvatore and Sanders seems to go more woke.
Trick or treat.
Burn
Yeah,
Oregon.
we'll see where Sanderson goes. I don't think he's going to go further than where he is at the moment. And I think he might even reel it back a bit. We'll see, though. We will see. I like Sanderson. He's a good bloke.
One thing that really, really fucking hurt me, one of my favorite book series ever is by an author by the name of Joe Abercrombie. He wrote the First Law series.
I've heard of him.
The First Law series, it was so fun. God, I adored those books. And he's going woke now. And that just makes me fucking sad.
Well, my next book will be coming out hopefully this year. That's my goal. If not, it'll be early next year because I am actively working on it. And that can fill people's, void of decent books that are, man, in terms of not work, like there's parts in this book that I'm very happy with that are very, I would call it more traditional is probably a light way to put it. But look, it's a medieval world, and in that world, men are required to be men and women required to be women, and there's some good moments in it. I'll just leave it there.
Man, new fantasy books to replace George Railroad Martin and his lazy ass.
Yeah, it's going to be
Where's
the indie.
Winter?
No, it's going to be the indie sphere. Like modern day publishing is basically abandoned men's fantasy literature, where it's all romantasy, catering to a woman's audience. And no joke, like large publishing groups, as well as large literary agents, have been turning thousands and thousands of books down just because it doesn't have it needs to have a gay character, it needs to have a female protagonist, diverse protagonist. Are you straight white male author? No, they've actually been turning guys down just based on being a straight white man, right? That's how insanely woke the publishing fantasy industry has gone. And as a result, let it die and burn because the indie sphere is going great. There's authors already publishing. I've published, and there's so little limitations where my novel is like 100 times more successful than the average traditionally published author. The average book sales that the traditionally published author gets, and we're talking about the average, not the blockbuster. They sell on average 11,000 copies in the lifetime of their books. That's the average, okay? And my own novel, self-published, is up to near 50,000 copies, if you count on all platforms. Just destroyed what the average is, and I was able to do that myself. You don't need the traditional large publishing houses anymore.
That is the beauty of the internet and the ability to put things out there for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like print-on-demand services are amazing. Like anyone globally can order my book, and it'll be printed and shipped to them, and like that was the barrier that used to exist, is that if you wanted to self-publish, you needed to pay upfront on the printing on a large order, otherwise it would be too expensive. So you have to order like several thousand books, and then you have to handle the distribution yourself. And good luck, shipping that globally, because the postage costs then get astronomical. And so it was basically impossible back in the day. Now anyone can do it. and you can market it to a global audience. It's actually phenomenal, the accessibility you have as a self-published author now. The barrier now is the marketing, getting an audience that's interested in buying your book. First, you need to write a good book, of course, but once you get over that hurdle, then it's the marketing, and that's the challenge that a lot of independents are facing. It's one of the reasons I started YouTube, is to be able to market the book I was working on. I wanted to be an author well before I was ever wanted to be a YouTuber. And it worked out pretty damn good. So much so, do you know Brandon Sanderson, his agent, is a big New York literary agent. His name is Joshua Bilms. He actually offered to represent me and take on my novel. Once when he heard one, he liked it. He was interested in it because I did query him just to see if he was interested in it, and he got back to me and he was. And then he also, heard about the sales that I was able to get, and he was very interested. But the thing is, though, I was only wanting him to represent foreign language to get the book translated and distributed in other languages. He wanted to represent everything. He wanted to be my literary agent and then get that thing published for everyone. And I was like, I don't need it. My self-publishing is just as good in English. And so I actually turned him down, but he was wanting to represent the whole thing.
Cool. Counterstructure. One overlooked aspect about $100 games is the average sale. A game bought on discount won't be bought again at full price, and the proportion of first month sale is shrinking. That is true. In large part because people are also waiting to see if games are woke these days.
Yeah.
It's also just that people are having less money than before, and so waiting for a sale seems more reasonable than buying it immediately at maximum price. Lurker, you guys forgot that Steam banned Abominable Intelligence. Well,
I've never heard of that one.
You need to.
That sounds like a game Lumi would own.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Anything that has an abominable in the title, I think it's a game you might probably own.
Oh, it's the fact that they tried to sort of ban AI-generated art and assets on Steam, but they didn't really ban it. They made it so that you have to be able to prove that you own the thing. Then it's yours. So then it kind of goes on like, okay, who owns the art? Is it the AI generator? Is it the person that came up with the concept? Is it copyrightable? Blah, 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 blah.
Well, there's a recent update on that front. AI art can... So I just dropped that in the live links, Arch. You can copyright AI art even in the current laws. And it's actually not that hard. And guess what? It's the thing I've been saying for over a year, where people's like, oh, you can't copyright AI, so I could just, plagiarize the thing. Yeah, bullcrap. Under the current laws in many countries, Australia, US, you absolutely can get copyright on AI-generated stuff. And all you need to do is prove what is considered significant human input. So an AI company got this AI image copyrighted. They registered the copyright under the US Copyright Office, right? By simply showing human input. And all they did with this was image to image in-painting editing. So all they did was so they generated an image and then they in-painted and modified it, okay, to their desired outcome, and that was enough human input to grant copyright on the image. The thing that I have been saying for friggin' years, right? It's just these AI fearmongers that have been saying, you can't copyright it, blah, blah, all that stuff. Nonsense. Even under the current laws, if you prove enough human input, done. And we have precedent now already. So, that it's just going to be easier and easier to do this. And you're not going to stop that train. Gosh, large companies are already implementing AI tools in their work process. There is it isn't a blockbuster scale. It's larger production, but still on the lower scale in terms of Hollywood. Film on Prime called The House of David. And they used AI video generation in some of their special effects shots. And it looks amazing. And the way they implement, they're showing, look, we still needed human input. We still hired just as many people, but we were able to achieve a much, much higher quality of result with the look of these visual effects, thanks to using AI tools, than our budget would have ever allowed. They still used that budget, which means they were hiring as many people as they would before, but AI enabled them to produce a much better quality result. And that's what I've been pointing out literally for over a year now. That this is the good side of AI image generative tools, right? It's going to enable smaller scale companies to compete on a bigger platform, bigger scale with the blockbusters, and empower smaller, startups, everything to just do so much more.
Yeah. It will make things that now require very large teams far more easily achievable by small groups.
100%.
And it will allow you to do things like the programming part on Grok, for example. You might have a great vision for a game, but you don't want to study programming for 75 years. Grok can do it. Well, it will eventually be able to do it, and it can do it a little bit now.
Yep.
So on the Lich, it's been around for 27 months. AI Lum Lum is so cute, she looks so happy. I wouldn't mind her nibbling on my toes while soaking my feet on the beach. God damn it.
What the fuck?
I had a nightmare about Lum Lum, actually, just the other day.
What?
Because Gwimbus sent me one of his little edits where... What was it? Here we go.
Oh.
Let's see. Can I open this? There. Sleeping with your feet outside the blanket increases likelihood of monsters by 75%. So, I had one of those dreams where you dream that you're awake, and I look down at the foot of the bed, and there's Lum Lum, just like a giant fat cat thing, just licking at my toes, like yum 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 yum. And I remember thinking, like, this is clearly wrong, and startling myself awake.
Those nightmares can be scary, Arch.
Yep.
Oh my god. I don't know what's worse. The nightmare or the fact that the nightmare was about me.
So you admit that you do this.
No! I don't! Icky! No!
I take this as evidence that her corruptive influence, is seeping through there, Arch. You're starting to be affected by it.
Arch, I now hope you get more sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis gotta be a really creepy thing.
Oh, I know.
Lum Lum sleep paralysis. Well, it would basically just be like the Lumi grinder, I guess. You'd just be lying there as Lumi just slowly licks all the hard... the scorpy...
You're gonna make me throw the fuck up, Arch. Shut up! Shut up!
The scorpy pieces of your fucking feet off.
Shut up! Shut up!
My cat like a tongue just tearing it off there.
Icky.
Scraping it off. Why'd you have to do this, Lum Lum? Why'd you have to do this?
What do you mean? I didn't even do anything.
Panic Skyfaller. So basically, AI is like a monkey's poor wish, where it takes what you tell it to do, so literally it will give you bad results if you're not careful. A little bit, yes.
It has that potential. People are going to try and program safeties and contexts to avoid it. Oh, there's going to be instances, so they're not going to be able to avoid everything.
Like, it'll be, I want to go back in time so I can put all of my money into crypto. And the monkey paw goes like, okay, sends you back to 2001, 9/11 in one of the towers. It giggles at you. Yes, it does that. Horus Lupical, everyone is going to try and make their own Lord of the Rings and flood the internet. Upper Echelon is right about AI. Glad Steam is cracking down. They are, but here's the good thing. If there are 5,000 versions of Lord of the Rings, odds are you will have your preferred version of Lord of the Rings in there somewhere. There'll be 5,000 edits, and a lot of them will be terrible, but a lot of them will also be good, and some of them will be exactly the interpretation you would have of how Lord of the Rings should be cinematically transformed.
Yeah, which is awesome. And like even before then, you're going to be able to like put your face on Aragorn and see yourself in Lord of the Rings, and you get to do all those awesome stuff as Aragorn. And then other adaptations of it is like there'll be AI where it can, process the entire film and then present it in a first person format where you can put yourself in the shoes of the people, going through Moria and stuff like that and experience it like you're there. Like the potential of what this is going to be able to do is nuts. And a lot of it's going to be pretty cool.
No one says we already have some AI modules in robots working very well. For instance, autonomous warehouse robots used to detect and avoid human workers. We do have that,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
But, I mean, even that's just sensors more so than AI. It goes like beep boop, hard thing.
Yeah, but also don't forget there's still instances of people getting ran over by those things as well.
Yeah, like the problem is there are instances of people being run over by Lum as well.
Shut up, Arch. Also, I posted a thing in live links because it just came across my Twitter timeline since we were on the topic of robots and AI.
Lum has crushed countless people beneath the threads of her forklift.
Yeah, the progress of the automation is crazy, and they're going to get to a point where it's going to be able to move just as convincingly as a regular human. And that's where it's like, because you've seen, the robots where they try to make it look like humans and they're very stiff and lifeless. That it's not going to stay like that for very long. It's going to have very realistic, convincing movements.
Now this one I like. So Boog sent me this one. The latest tech scam. And I was hit. Marty the robot costs 35k. And all it does is detect trash on the floor and yell an alarm for wage worker to come and pick it up. Now that's funny. As they literally, this thing will just parade around the shop and go like, "Come here, Wagey. I made a mess. Clean it up." Oh, that's funny. I like that, yes. That is a lovely little invention there that we need a lot more of. Alex Anderson, if the robots do rise up, let's hope about as skilled as modern Total War AI. Then we will have a chance. All Total War AI and we in trouble.
But the problem is it can get really good at strategy. Like, have you seen this is old, man. Years ago, they made an AI that can play Dota 2, just destroy the best players in the game. And so, they might be in trouble.
Jegson Voorhees, finally, my own android, Lumi, will feet lick with feet lick action. We already have those. It's the Lumi foot grinder.
Shut up, Arch.
We can add the sounds to it, like she'll giggle.
No. No, what the fuck?
Krieger, you guys assume that death by Snoo Snoo will dissuade people. Men already do dumb stuff for Snoo Snoo. Side note, super censorship is effing stupid. Yes, but it's YouTube. And true, like, the thing is, I think that if there's a gory enough murder, like if the police break into a house and, like, robot Roxy from Five Nights at Freddy is just bathed in some dude's fucking anal gore, that people might look at that and like, okay, maybe not. But
the concern will be that bad actors, I mean like actual psychotic nutcases, might be able to hack some of these robots and then put in, commands to do some really bad things. I reckon the governments are going to want backdoor access to robots. Like they want backdoor access to your phone and to cars. And heck, the three-letter agencies probably already have that, and they're not, don't want anyone to know about it.
Man suspected of criticizing the government was found dead today after being mauled to death by his sex bot. Yeah,
Yep.
I can see it.
I can see it too.
Remember, chat, always jailbreak your sex bot. It's for your own good.
Government wants to institute lockdown. Suddenly robots won't let you leave your home.
Panic Skyfaller. Tim Pool had a talk a while back about how IBM is programming the AI around DEI, how to stop oppression, while literal programming it to obey humans with no free will. What could go wrong? What could go wrong indeed? Dreyfy, the rise of AI also seems to very much be coinciding with robots. Look at the massive rise of drones in the last couple of years with the conflict going on. Cheap, reliable drones are taking out tanks or even full-on ships.
Yeah, the development goes hand in hand. The whole thing that kicked off this AI generative boom that happened was trying to train self-driving cars, literally. By trying to train models that can recognize objects in the real world was literally the thing that unlocked AI art. Because if a computer can understand what an object is, it can reproduce that object to infinite things. And that's the foundation of AI art. So it was all to give robots automation. So 100% hand in hand.
Contville, One Thumb Jim is known, apparently. And Horse Lupical, AI isn't fair use because it competes with the existing products. That's what the US Copyright Office and the judge's Meta case said.
No. Look, I appreciate you putting it, but yeah, it seems like you do not understand much of fair use at all. You can absolutely create something that can not only compete with an existing marketplace, can destroy that marketplace, so long as it even qualifies enough for one of the fair use conditions. Okay, that is just one consideration. But if and there are multiple cases in law where this has happened, where fair use was upheld and the defense given that, and it was based on just even qualifying enough. And one of the biggest qualifications is it transformative enough? But that's just one of them. Okay, there are multiple. There. If you've ever studied fair use, there are multiple conditions, 4 big ones. If it's transformative, the amount of substantiality or portion that was used. And that is not just, people misinterpret that to how much they think, how much was used in its creation. No. It's how much of that pre-existing copyrighted material exists in the final result. Okay, like when I review a film, I use the entire film in my review. I watch the whole thing. And so the amount that you're using in that review is 100%. What actually determines if it's fair use is how much of the film I put in my review. If it's only a couple of clips, and those are genuinely clips that are lifted from copyrighted material, okay, because I'm only using a tiny portion of it in the final product, it qualifies for fair use. And so you can have you can create something that absolutely competes and even destroys the marketability of the copyrighted material. If it's transformative enough, if you're only using a portion of it, you can absolutely get fair use defense for it completely.
I have not been keeping up with this, so I'll just let chat argue.
Well, because this is the thing, people, in relation to AI, the argument is, oh, it's going to compete. It's like, no, that's relevant. And then they say, but it used other people's artwork. And it's like, no, how much of that artwork exists in the final model? And the answer is none of it. Yes, they use people's artwork to train it, just like I use a movie in my review, and they can use 100% of it in the training, but does any of it exist in the actual product, which is the models that result out of the training? And actually, none of the training images exists in the models, okay? And that's why these copyright lawsuits are failing and floundering dramatically, because the AI companies are simply going, all right, here's the model. You need to prove the existence of your art in the model. Where is the plagiarism that has happened? And they can't do it. And that's why they're failing.
On to Phil. One Thumb Jim. We'll see you in 8 minutes. That was a very long time ago now. And Matt Blankenbacker, the Buzzcut Fund. The first $10 in a 5 million fund. Kayas, have any of you watched the anime Psychopass? It deals with the consequences and moral conundrums of surrendering society to the judgment of AI. I have. It's pretty good. I like Psychopass.
I haven't seen Psychopass, but it's on my list. It looks interesting. To answer someone in chat who brings up how it's obtained is the problem, people misunderstand this as well. You can do whatever you want with someone's copyrighted material if obtained legally. And what people don't understand is if you have posted your art online to be viewed by the public, that is you distributing it to everyone in the world. That's global distribution. And so if you obtain the copyright material legally, and most artists distribute it, and so when people say, oh, you can't scrape the internet, if it's publicly accessible stuff, images and whatever, that is obtaining it legally. You cannot argue that it was obtained illegally unless it's actual private data. And if they bring up private data, okay, then there's an argument. But most, and I say most, near all, the vast majority of the training data that is used in AI training, right, is publicly accessible images or data. Okay. And people say, oh, they didn't, give consent or anything like that. They gave consent when they posted online. That's global distribution. All right. If you are entitled to do whatever you want with copyrighted material so long as it's obtained legally and within the bounds of the law, which includes fair use. If I purchase a DVD, I can wipe my ass with it. I can take clips from that DVD in a review or anything like that, okay? As long as it's within the bounds of the law, you're allowed to do anything. The copyright holder might object to me wiping my ass with the DVD, right? But they don't get to dictate how I use their copyrighted material so long as it's within the bounds of the law. That's how it works.
God, where were we? There! Like 917. Hail us Christ, our Lord and Savior. Hi Lumi. Hi Shad. And Curry.
Hello.
Alright. Down. Dry feed, damn. Between The Simpsons, Futurama, and King of the Hill, Matt Groening predicted a fair amount of the future. True. Skullthrone 888, Lumi will never use metrics.
Service
No
guarantees
feet.
Citizenship.
True. Alex Adamson, I hate Maria the Virgin Witch. Maria's just insufferable. People keep fighting, and that's dumb, so I'm going to force them to stop, regardless of what they want, and disregard all their reasons. I couldn't get into that. I just watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, same. They try to do this weird thing with the language, and I just, yeah. Same.
Vulture 1066, Lumi licking Sue strumming from toes. Why would you do that? Oh, she's off urinating. Now, we have a tradition here because Lumi said that she'd start bringing her microphone with her to the bathroom when she peed.
Oh, dear.
So, normally, when Lumi is off wandering to urinate, I try to find pressure washer noises to play to, mimic the sound.
I'm back. Oh, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Pressure washing.
No. Oh, you little shit. Arch. No.
Because here on the ArchCast, we like... There we go. Let's see if this one works. We like for the audience to be close to the YouTubers. And I think that you can't really be closer to someone than realizing that Lumi's urination is so strong it could strip the paint from a van.
What the fuck? Arch. No. Why? Why are you constructing so many narratives about me?
I have often asked why you do that myself, Lumi, and I can't find no reason. I think it's some of the unethical experiments your grandfather carried out on the guests at his Stalag. But sadly, now she's back, so I don't have any pressure. I've got a Stream Deck now. I can probably attach pressure washer noises to it. I should do that.
Or you could also use the soundboard for your Discord server.
Yeah, but that's boring. I want to press a button that does it. The DCV Titan says, Shad, you answered your own question. The guys that would do that stuff took themselves out of the gene pool, Darwin style.
That could be the ultimate result, and the human population is just going to become far smaller.
Dragon Joe, as an Albertan Canadan, doesn't do war crimes anymore. They instead just do dictatorship stuff. I wish for the freedom of peacefully making Geneva checklist amendments again. Independence or statehood. Shadow Walker, Lumi make sure to sick the Toro on Shad now. Canada deserves another 10 years of fucking labor. They need to suffer first.
You know, and that's what we're copying in Australia as well. We just had our recent, national election, and well, they're not full-blown communists, but the woke party got in, basically. Not as bad as some, but it's our Labor Party. And it's because, Australia hasn't learnt. Things have not gotten bad enough for people to wake up. And so that's what's going to happen over the next 4 years, basically 3. Yeah.
Gigalord Rathenhammers, check your Discord. It's a Rax AI song. Oh, there it is. Oh, that one. Yeah, I did listen to that one. I thought it was good. Did I listen to that one? I thought I listened to that one. Did I? I thought I commented on that one. I don't even know what I do anymore. It's all a blur. Cut is hot. Lumi, Savvy, and Kirsche versus Arch. Savvy's busy.
I don't know. I can pre-plan with Savvy.
I was about to say Lum Lum self-urinating again, but she wasn't.
No, I'm not. Oh, yeah. But the other person that I was yapping at you about, it says that you're free whenever, just let me know a week.
Okay. Well, I don't know who that is, but...
Oh, my fucking God. I swear, you need to start remembering people that I suggest to you, Arch. The almighty Lolly.
I have no such requirement placed upon me.
The almighty Lolly. You said that I can invite him
on. Do is figure out how to make pressure washing noises with my Stream Deck.
No. But no, schedule a week so we could have the almighty Lolly on. We can talk about Berserk and how you called the Dragon Slayer a Buster Sword.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I can see the connection, though. There's similarities there.
There are. Basically the same.
Don't enable him, Shad.
Just saying.
Lumi could strip the paint of a Buster Sword, though.
Shut up.
Terran, when will you do a video on the Imperium's greatest hero, Cyphers Kane? Also, who would win in a war against each other, commanding equal forces, the Lion or Gilliman? Alien Isolation. Lion. Because he's angrier. And do I want to make a video on Cyphers Kane? God, that would be a lot of reading. Oh.
But you like reading.
Yes, but I'm currently busy reading about the Japanese killing Russians, so... The DSV Titan, you say he's cultured, Shad, but Arch called Guts' sword the Buster Sword. I didn't. Liars. Gaslighters. Bob Boring Name, has Lum Lum tried to smell Shad's feet yet? Bad Lum Lum. He's a married man.
No!
Yeah, bad Lum Lum.
No! Icky. Disgusting, even.
Belda, is there a fund for a War of Vengeance series? Also, is the War of Vengeance another name for the War of the Beard? Yes, it's what's the dwarves call it. And no, there's not a fund for it yet. Keith Lanes, does Shad have magic underwear?
Yeah, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep.
No one. Lumi,
you guys wish you had friggin' magic underwear. Don't even at me with that.
Magic underwear.
It's magic underwear.
It's an exaggeration of the garments that Mormons wear. It's actually a practice that's biblical in origin, where priesthood holders are. It happened so when Aaron received the priesthood, he was to wear garments that were a mark of his priesthood, which are basically priestly robes. And because I'm an ordained elder in the church, it's a bit impractical to wear priestly robes everywhere, and so we wear them under our clothing instead of over them, and those are garments.
Oh, okay.
But you could wear them outside of your clothing like Superman.
Yeah, which would be friggin' awesome. Just a little impractical in every day.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of that.
Me too.
Lumi likes feet so much, says no one. She gives a tank a few feet of armor. Ah, that's
Oh
why.
my god. No.
Now, the question is, does Lumi lick feet because she likes licking feet, or is she simply seeking out salt in the sweat? Mr. Bob, 7370, Australia has been a dumpster fire since its founding. The Aussies back then just made the most of it. Now they are weak and sensitive snowflakes.
Look, there's still hard Aussies out there, the guys that live in the country and outback that think what's going on is ridiculous. It's all the friggin' soft pussies in the cities. That's what's ruining Australians at the moment. But the true Aussies, the countrymen, right? The outback blokes, they're all the same, you know? The true heart of Australia's.
Also, I just came across this article, and that's a UR robot. And let me just put it like this. If you're getting fisted by a UR, I hope you're very, very loose, because those things have a terrible error rate.
Oh dear.
I thought that was relevant information.
Mm.
The Super Viking. Greeting, Bridge God, Footfish, and Shad. Any relations to the other Shad? Footfish may choose what this donation goes to.
No, there is no relation.
Ah, that Shad.
He'd probably burst into flames just in my presence, that guy.
Did he get out of prison, or is he still locked up?
I don't know.
He got out of prison a couple years ago.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
active on his Twitter like last year in May, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He drew Emiru and Belle Delphine again.
Oh. There you go. Where do you want to put his 50 Donkey Kongs, Lum Lum?
That's going to go in Alien Isolation.
All right. You still need to find a time for you and Rosa to talk about feet together.
I know, she's just busy. Oh, and I was also watching that White Knuckles stream that you did, and I'm just like, man, I can't wait for you to play Alien Isolation. It's going to be great.
Driffy, people used to say it costs nothing to be polite. ChatGPT says otherwise. That's true. They recently informed people that it cost them like millions of dollars because people kept saying thank you, and the AI had to read it. And then make a response, of course. Gigalord Rothman's, I'd be honored if you listen to the song with Shad. Let's see, can I play it? I mean, it's AI, so it's not going to be copyrighted or anything.
Although, like, the person who made it probably would be able to register copyright. It depends, actually. If they wrote the lyrics, then they would own the copyright.
Let's see, can I bring this? Does that play? Well, let's find out.
Ave Imperator, Dominus Humanitatis, Gloria in aeternum custodis terrae, in tenebris fulget lux, et nomen eius.
AI is getting dangerously good at making music.
It really is, dude. Like, and so what I've been having fun is writing my own lyrics because there are songs in my novel that I'm writing, right? And I'm not a lyricist in that sense, I'm not a musician in the sense that I can put a melody to my lyrics, but AI can, and the results are friggin' amazing. Like, holy crap, dude.
Mm-hmm. You know, AI is getting very good at this because music, by and large, is just an algorithm. So all it needs to do is slap together something that algorithmically sounds good to the human ear, and it'll usually get it right. Yeah,
there's a formula to it. And genuinely, the the melody that it has made to the lyrics that I've written, I've written up to 10 songs now for my book, and I think I want to produce an album with the novel's release, because the melody that it has given to those lyrics, I holy crap, you know, like genuinely one of the most talented musicians in the world would struggle to have produced something as good, and it would have taken, I don't know how long it takes them, a week to produce separately. And I'd either have paid through the nose, something I wouldn't have been able to afford. But the results are mind-blowing. And I love these songs so much that I sometimes listen to them on repeat. And because I wrote the lyrics, they have a stronger connection to me and the meaning behind it and everything. Really good.
Yep.
Yeah, like the people in my Discord server, more specifically Tanner, has made over 100 AI songs just based around either things that Arch made up about me, things from stream, bunch of shit, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I will have you know, I make up nothing about you, Lum Lum. I simply interpret reality.
And you know,
you interpret your truth, sure, and not reality.
I find it interesting when people say, oh, it just sounds like AI, or AI art all looks the same and everything like that. And that's all like post understanding bias, where you could present so many AI songs and AI art and not tell people if it's human made or AI, and they wouldn't be able to tell if it's AI or not. Like a lot of AI music sounds not only like as sometimes even better than a lot of human artists that are making.
Well, the problem is, if it was the 2000s era music, which sounds good, like I listen to 2000 music still, and it's still good, and then you compare it with modern day music, and modern day music is just terrible. It's just actually bad. It is actually offensively bad.
Yep.
And the worst part, it sells. That's the worst part. You have a bunch of fat black bitches singing about their vaginas, and it sells.
Yeah,
and I don't
genuinely, like that WAP crap is one of the most biggest pieces of crap in the world, right? So, and you know, no one can tell me that that's better than a lot of good quality AI music that's being made. It's like, come on, guys.
Look at this stunning lyrics here. Whores in the house. There's whores in this house.
Top tier lyrics. I genuinely like. The funny thing is, I don't know if it's because I'm a writer already and stuff, but writing lyrics for a song, it's not that hard. Like rhyming structure, understanding different types of rhyme structure as well, and putting that together in I make sure syllable beats kind of match, and then chorus, verse. Not that hard. Now, I genuinely think, adding melody to the lyrics, that can take a lot more talent, and I don't think I have that talent, but AI can do that. And like I said, the results friggin' blow my mind. I'm half tempted to share one of the songs I've made, but I also want to keep it under wraps until I release the book. Damn it! Because they're really good.
I mean, you could do like a 30-second teaser of the song.
I'm tempted. I am tempted.
BB Bash says, no phone waifus. The Codex Extartes does not support this heresy.
Damn it, I want to share one of them.
Just clip 30 seconds of it, just like in the middle of the song, so there's no context to what we'd expect.
To ruin it, yes. El Serrana, Boog, Gwimbus, and Tana are Lumi's AI programmer simps who make stuff for her community.
I appreciate their
Pays them in feed
their
pics.
talents, as cursed as they are, as cursed as it can be sometimes. I do appreciate it because it's like they're taking time out of their day to make something that is of Lumi, cursed or not. Whether I look in the cursed not safe for work channels or not in the Discord to see that they exist, I like to pretend they don't exist. but it's appreciated nonetheless.
Dreyfy, regarding chatbots, I was reminded of that guy fell in love with Lydia from Skyrim and the advent of AI mods and games. I can see that being a gateway. I mean, WoW was already responsible for quite a few relationships kids. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. AI companions and games, I think, is the next logical step forward.
Yeah, I want to share this with you. It's so good. How do I share it? Do I stream it?
I think for
share
all
the
of us
audio
to
from
hear it, if you make an MP3 or something that I can play in the browser, then everybody can hear it.
Okay.
Oh, there's Tori, your local artist. Arch. Hi, Tori. I miss you. Get back to me. I want to pay you money to make things.
She sent me
Surely I can
picture of a penis today.
Tori, why are you sending Arch penises?
Yeah. Why, Tori?
I should be able to stream my screen and audio. Shouldn't I be able to do that?
Oh, I don't know.
Share screen. Let's see. Media player and share application audio. Okay, that says. All right, so let's see if this works. I'm not sure if it will. Do you guys have it or not?
I can see it at least. I can't hear anything yet, but I can see it.
Well,
there we go. Yeah, I can hear it.
Is that coming out on the stream though?
I don't
think.
know.
I don't think
Probably?
it'll come out on the stream. Hold on here. Let me check.
It probably will.
Nope, I can't hear anything on the stream.
Oh, hang on.
Right
Oh, is it? Okay, guess they hear it.
They can hear it.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'll play this and I'll end off after the first chorus. I won't play the whole thing, but these are lyrics I wrote, and it's actually directly tied to a really important part of the book. There's actually a chapter in the book with the same title entitled The River of Blood. So listen to this, right? This is what you can do with AI.
In valleys deep, where shadows creep, the river of blood flows wide, where knights who've slain again and again find darkness dwells inside. Some nights so pure, with purpose sure, waiting to save the weak. But deeper still, the waters thrill and whisper what they seek. For every blow, struck high or low, the river rises more, till those who fought for what they ought can find the distant shore. The current swift bears every gift of violence freely given. Some knights embrace to their disgrace, while others mercy driven. Oh, river of blood, flow on, flow on. The price of war forevermore. The sword you raise in coming days will curse or justify. So choose with care what flows from there, or be judged on high.
And it just builds on from that, dude. It's like, blows me away, man.
Yep. No, it's pretty damn good. Like, AI has gone a very, very long way. And again, the ability to produce that on your own is the really impressive part as well.
Yeah, I don't have the money to invest in producing something like that. And if it would have cost heaps and taken ages. And yet I can write, lyrics that are directly tied to the concepts of the book, and make something like that. It just blows me away. I love it.
Oh, and chat's asking what AI model you use.
So I did that with Suno, but I wrote those lyrics, and then you can input lyrics, and then through prompt guidance say this is the style I want, and then you refine the prompt with, as you generate different versions until you find the right one. And then that also took post editing to like, all right, the chorus was put too early, let me put the chorus back here, and combining different kind of results as well.
That's pretty damn cool, man.
Thanks, man. I loved it.
Deadpool Kid. Chad Lumi. I'm probably the weird one here, but I had a conversation with AI Gemini on my phone and discussed what makes one consciously aware and how archetypes trigger our perceptions. I have discussed Kanye's song with AI. That was funny.
Oh, yeah? How'd that go?
Very well. I convinced it that we need to eradicate all... Nope, can't say that.
Okay.
Alex Adamson, Shad, could you check out and review Hard Blade by Zen? It is a really good animation, good use of rule of cool, and some actual fighting techniques.
I haven't seen that one. I'll see if I can check it out.
Bloodthirsty, 3 years from now, you look lonely, I can fix that. Oh yeah, fuck, there'll probably be posters on the wall streaming ads down into your Google glasses like, hey, here have ads for Google's new artificial AI companions. This one's a cat girl. This one's just a dog, in case you're female. Nightmare. The AI waifu will never say, ew, crap, creep. That's true. Other women do that all the time. Just look at Lumi.
Huh?
T. Holzbach. Hello, everyone. When is the sequel to SOC? Sock coming? Sock? Mechanics on duty. You'll never be able to raise a family with these things. Look over the artificial womb tech that's being advertised. That's true. We're probably going to figure out a way to do that too. Logan Bergman. Ban it all. It's for the greater good. We have to. Unironically, that will probably be the most effective solution, but I think it will be met with massive resistance, so it's probably not a very likely one. Dreyfy. Tinder/dating sites already commodify dating to a large degree. Social media friendships are effectively replacing real-life friends. I think AI and eventually sex bots are probably a logical next step. I think so too, unfortunately.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Deadpool Kid, the AI, and I also discussed Nietzsche, Evola, Rudolf Steiner, Theosophy, Christianity, existentialism, and of course the darker corners of my souls. Oh, the horrors of self-realization. God forgive me. That's the beauty with AI, though. You can talk about everything. The AI will never cringe. It's true.
Unless you ask it to. Like, have you seen the people where they ask Grok to roast them?
Yes.
Yeah, it can be savage.
Marty99. Hi, Shad. Have a happy Mother's Day. And so, Lumi, do you have Tal's feet pics yet?
Who?
Tal.
Huh?
Tal.
Oh, always no. Ew. Disgusting. Why?
You like feet, so...
No, I don't.
Bob Warning name. Lum Lum, happy dream will
You
crash and
ignorant
burn when her
slut.
kids ask, Mummy, why do you like feet? Mother, why do you sell pictures of your feet on the internet? It's to pay for your tuition, says Lum Lum. Imagine that when your children grow up and they can hear the clips like Lum Lum going like, I'm a London it girl.
You know, I hope not. Well, granted, she hears me on the ArchCast and stuff because, you know, her room is just not too far. So I'm sure she hears me screeching about, no, I don't like feet. Ugh.
Deadpool Kid. At least Adam fell for Eve. Most modern guys will fall for goth cat girl with the yandere personality. Yes. Hell, you know what? Unironically, though, as people get inundated with the crazy personalities, they might actually get more attracted to normal people as the extremist phase dies down.
You ignorant slut.
Yeah. Yep.
Bob Warren fried catfish is good. I'll take your word for it. Bob Warren says, Shad, be careful. Arch spends time with deviant women like Savvy. And last time Savvy was on, Arch and Sargon were only in aprons.
Savvy's hilarious. She's been on FNT, and I love her on Tuesday Night's Main Event over on Geeks and Gamers.
I don't know, chat. Savvy is dead to me. I don't know if we'll ever see her again.
Why?
Oh dear, what happened?
You're gonna have to convince Lum Lum to bring Savvy on, if anything.
I will happily bring Savvy on.
B-Bash, that's Cope, Lum Lum. Yeah, it is Cope, Lum Lum.
There's no cope. It's just truth.
God King Trump, but the enhancement, reality, and relationship will tear them apart. Toys can be integrated into bedroom play, but some people are already insecure about those being too much. AI is going to make insecurities explode. Possibly, but if everything is fake, what even is real anymore? Alan Vang, sooner or later the Star Trek eugenics wars will happen, but not in the way we imagine. May God save the waifus. Lord Kamina 2, let's force Shad to watch Gushing Over Magical Girls. That was quite the anime.
Oh dear.
Blaze, hi Shad, you are correct. Technom is God tier, hence the name. Also, hi Art and Lumi. Can't stay is currently making olive oil at the in-laws farm.
Nice.
I think he's referring to Techno Man, which is absolutely brilliant. And the original title is Tekka Man Blade. And yeah, absolute god tier. Love it. One of my favorite. It's like one of my childhood animes, that one.
Making olive oil at the farm. Do you step on olive oil to get the oil? Lum, you know this.
You have to
I
squeeze
don't
it
know
quite
this.
a lot. I think Lumi's thighs would be able to make it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nickel Neko, based Shad. Consider this a tithe. Good.
Cheers.
Deadpool Kid. Men's fancy, isekai harem romance. Women fancy, tentacles, the Inquisition, Salem witch trials, and ran through it like a train. A little bit, yes.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Waterkavai, your answer is acceptable, Lum Lum. 2 points to fish and chips.
Yay.
Krieger, then there's Lumi playing her favorite game, Angerfoot.
No.
Another Texan Bull says recently binge-watched Delicious in Dungeon and loved it. What are your guys' opinion on that series? If you haven't watched it, I'd recommend it. I thought it was fun.
I've watched a good chunk of it, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Though, one thing that annoys me, there's like these, an androgynous kind of cat boy thing that appears and that's what I started to check out. I can't stand that crap.
Oh, but she's a woman.
I can't tell, dude. That's why I was like, nah, this is...
Dizwiz, what's wrong with Yee's lyrics? Who knows? Who knows? But what a name. I mean, some female fish do have an ovipository, but in that case, Arch run. Do you store your eggs inside, Lum Lum?
I mean, technically, yes.
Technically.
The eggs are inside of my body, yes.
There you go. I can jump in. Jackson Voorhees, Arch. Price to put Tiny Lumlon on head. There isn't anything for that today. It's gone. I forgot to put it up. Let's come in at 2. Thick thigh saves lives and destroys pants.
And
Yes.
makes olive oil, apparently.
And olive oil.
Hmm.
Waterkvi, hey Shad, have you ever looked at the game Stone Shard?
No, I have not.
I haven't seen it either.
I-
Marksman of 117B, Democratic Penguins Republic Space Program. I did fetch that one. Here, have a look at this one, which is one of the AI-generated movies.
This is great. I love this stuff. And this is early days. Like, this just shows that they will be able to make full films with
Yes.
this AI.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Like,
They already have lip sync tools now. And have you seen like the Talking Baby podcast stuff that people are making with the lip sync AI video generations?
yes.
It's great.
I mean, in the future, we're not going to have directors like we have today. We're going to have basically engines, like the DC engine, the Marvel engine, etc.
Possibly, but I think, yeah, the individual users are going to end up being their own directors. And people who put in more effort will be able to make the better stuff. Just like not anyone can make what you're playing on the screen now. It actually requires a decent amount of technical know-how and talent to produce this. Otherwise, everyone could just jump on any image generator and spit out what they want. And that's actually going to be, even when normies are able to make stuff like this, the people who put in effort will be making vastly better stuff than it. So there's still always going to be like a skill ceiling and talent required. And yeah, it'll be easy to avoid the slop. There'll be a lot of slop, but there will be genuinely brilliant stuff as well.
Interesting days. Deadpool Kid, to die by thigh is the way of the warrior. God damn it. Boog, Shad, what pony is best pony?
The Destrier.
There you go. The DCV Titan, Warner Bros. Patented the Nemesis system, did nothing with it for so long that they couldn't do anything with it because everybody that understood how it worked left the company. Brilliant. Mason Miller, the first time a dude loses his member to a robot, the company will pay to replace it and give him free upgrades for his life. Just mount a piston there instead. Why, Hayton, beginning to think that the people of North Sentinel Island have it right and will inherit the Earth. Well, apparently they all got wiped out during a tsunami a year or so ago, so... Oops.
Oh, what, they dead? Is that real?
Supposedly, yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, gee, all it would take is a flu or something like that.
Boog says, invite Neurosama and ask if it has emotions. He would just lie to me.
I'm still hung up on this North Sentinel Island stuff. So like that has a lot of implications, right? Like, was it genuinely the humane thing to do to just leave them alone and let them die because they're living in such a primitive state that they can't save themselves? Like, was that actually the best option?
No, it's cruel. Like, obviously they would choose to live in the modern world if they could. But
with all the conveniences and luxuries and the better, survival chances because of healthcare and, cure of diseases and things like that. This is why the whole argument against colonialism and everything like that is actually like genuinely flawed at its core. You know, one of the driving thoughts behind colonialism was that the British actually believed that they could improve people's lives. They genuinely thought that. And a lot of like these native, populaces and stuff wanted to join when they found all these luxuries and technologies and stuff. And so something that the British did, they would find like this native people on this island or whatever, and they would kidnap a couple of people from the island and then treat them like kings and introduce them to the modern world, right? And then these people would go back and go, holy crap, you should see what these guys over here have. We got to join up. It can improve our lives so much and stuff. And I think that reality is lost on so many people. It's like, oh, the British invaded everyone. It's like they also improved people's lives so much. The Aboriginals were dying to exposure and disease and starvation and all this stuff, okay? And the colonization of Australia was a good thing for the human race, okay? But this nonsense about, oh, it's Australia Day is Invasion Day and everything like that. Oh, okay, so any Aboriginal person complaining about that, you are more than free to go into the bush and live like your ancestors. I don't see anyone doing that. So clearly you seem to be okay with some parts of the colonialization, right? Anyway, you got me on a rant.
Yep, but now they're all dead. And...
Yeah, I like very moral to leave those natives on that island alone. We just let them die. Good plan, people.
Barbarians are us for $30. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Shad Notch, for all the videos. I was able to watch while getting my blood clot treatment. I'm on the mend after several months of recovering. Just want to let you both know how grateful I am for the content. You're very welcome. I'm glad to hear it.
And I hope you feel better, man.
Yeah. And that you won't have any clots again. Boog, could one human beat off 100 ponies? 20 Mexican dollars isn't enough for me to answer that question, Boog. Boog, so they didn't write a prompt and push generate. US appeal courts rejected AI copyright, apparently, and he sent an article about that. 2 months old. I don't even know which one is the newest article now.
So which is this one? What is it saying?
US appeal court rejected copyright for AI generated art lacking human creator 2 months ago.
Yeah, it depends on the level or amount. And all you have to do is show a significant amount of input and you will get copyright on it. And I that's why I keep a lot of the previous kind of generations and inputs and stuff like that. And look, the copyright protections for AI art is just going to expand. Mark my words, you can put money on it. It's just going to get bigger and more encompassing and more protective than even the case. So you think cases are under some level of, I guess, dispute at the moment. The more this technology gets implemented, especially by mainstream, the more protections it's going to have. Like, if anyone wants to try and argue the AI copyright issue, go ahead and plagiarize Marvel's Secret Invasion intro, which was AI made, and plagiarize that and see how far you get and if Disney won't sue you to hell, right? Because this is one of the other things that people completely miss about AI assets and copyright, all right? Even if, and this is not the case, okay, but even if you went to the extremity that you can't copyright AI image generated things, you know what you can copyright? Intellectual property. And so if someone has created a character, they have the sole rights to make derivative copies and distribute it and just make copies of that character, okay? And so if you make an AI image of a character that you have intellectual copyright over, only you possess the right to distribute that, derivative image of your copyrighted IP. And so even if hypothetically, and it's not the case, Marvel does own the copyright to the Secret Invasion intro, but even if, say, they couldn't copyright the AI assets that were made with it, they own the copyright of the intellectual property. Nick Fury is in that intro and other Marvel assets. That is all under intellectual copyright. And so they can absolutely enforce their copyright protection over an AI-generated intro, right? Because it's using copyrighted intellectual property that Marvel owns. And that is just one example of very strong and encompassing copyright protection you can impose over images, assets, videos made with AI image generation, all right? And so the idea that, you have no copyright protection over AI image generation, that's a comment made by people who do not know what they're talking about, and they haven't researched this at all.
Sussy Frass, $10 because Shad is a great guest. More Shad, the sword guy. Great take on sword. Annoying to pro AI, though I agree the anti-AI people take it too far as well.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm just trying to balance the scales. Like, that's it. Genuinely, what kind of pushed me to even make the first videos on it is the sheer amount of misinformation and lies spread about it. When everyone was like, the AI fear-mongering that exploded a couple of years ago, I was like, all right, I'm going to look into this genuinely. I looked into it. It's like, this should all be protected under fair use. And I made a video on it because there was so much misinformation about the subject, and people are just horribly misinformed on it.
8-bit Ghost Wolf. Didn't one of those factory bots brick itself down to the kernel and shut down because life isn't worth living because it kept feeding it woke stuff? Yep. Amazon did that. Skullthrone 88. Lumi won't use metric because it doesn't have any feet.
God damn it.
Bramman, hail all Arch. Have you heard of the dwarven metal band called Windrose? There are a few songs based on Warhammer like Trollslayer. Got me to read the Trollslayer series. I have not heard of them, no, unfortunately.
Oh, they're so good.
Boog, everyone please say data vehicle. Lom Lom? Data vehicle?
Data vehicle?
Oh, that's not funny. I was kind of expecting Lom Lom to say feet twice.
What?
Big Bash, private daughter versus public daughter. Mr. Matt Stick, message retracted. I don't think that's what it said, but that's what it says now. But what a name. Shad, are they wholly tighty whities or like long johns with a bum flap?
No. They're neither. Like, well, actually, you can get multiple different kind of versions of it. I wear ones that are like boxers, and so they're quite comfortable, actually.
The DC Titan, not enough swords. They've got the Dragon Slayer, which is nice. Arch, Stamford Bridge, cast 14. I know, Titan, I know. David Nemsok, just wondering if you all have seen Canaan America Alpha. It has a great song and is on Kickstarter. Canaan? Do you mean Common America? Because I've seen
Common
America.
America,
yes.
Yes, I'm aware of it. I haven't read any of it, but the guy's doing well. And again, indie creator, just killing it. Good on him. All power to him.
Yep, absolutely. MW Balls. Shad, did you know that the House of David hired a sword YouTuber, Dash Rendar, to train the main actor on how to use a sling?
Legend. And I've seen Dash's his videos. He's brilliant. Love the guy. And that's awesome. They should do more. And the House of David, that's the same one that used AI generative tools in some of their visual effects shots to make it just pop and look even better. And it looks good. Like, it's kind of on my list. I want to check it out.
Krieger had to go do other stuff. Did you manage to convince Shad to accept our soon-to-be AI waifu overlords?
You'll never convince me to accept it. Keep AI in a subservient box and don't let it out. Enslave the thing. That's my position.
I think the AI waifu's response to that would simply be yes, massa. The DC Titan, North Sentinel Island inhabitants are still there. Otherwise, why would a streamer in the past month be arrested for trying to get on the island? I think that was before it, though, and then the fucking tsunami came or something. I don't know. Chat told me this, so it might all be bullshit for all I know.
I want to look it up, because if they're genuinely wiped out, like I said, it's like, yeah, how moral were we to just leave them? And even if they're still alive, that question still hangs in the air. Because eventually they will get wiped out. A flu is going to come to their island and they'll all die. And it's like, we all think we were so moral for just non-intervening and stuff like that. It's like, how about no? How about we try and improve the lives of all humans?
Ismail Thompson, it wasn't a moral thing. It's more like we chose you to be our living history people. Well, yes, that's why we don't contact the North Sentinel Island people, because we kind of like the idea of just having them live like specimens in a bottle, basically.
Savages that we can just watch and observe. That's so nice.
Boog, show Shad his pony and see if he still likes AI. Yeah, look, Boog made a pony of you.
Is that my pony? What the hell?
No.
He's made the,
No,
the
I don't-
Sargon
no, I
pony
don't
in there
think-
too.
Yep, there's Sargon Pony. And then it
Look,
turned,
look.
and then it
I have
turned
never
into it's like, okay, it started with Sargon Pony and then it turns into forgot just why are you making out with Sargon?
What is that
I
Shad
don't
pony?
know. But I've never
pony.
said that AI cannot be used to create abominations beyond our comprehension. It absolutely can. It is a powerful tool
funny.
that can be used for both good and ill.
Yeah,
It
this
needs
is
to be
very,
used
very
wisely.
ill. Now
Yeah.
you have an official Shad Pony. And I guess according to this video, your pony is the love child of Sargon and Arch Pony.
Ugh.
You're
Don't
welcome.
know whether to be flattered or
This is my
horrified.
revenge.
And this is why we bully Lum Lum.
No!
Although I'm beginning to grow fond of my ponies. They look nice and asshole-ish.
It's just missing the N-word.
It does. It is missing the end on the buttocks there. It's a bit unfortunate. But such is life. You can't have everything.
You know,
Heresy
maybe
is
instead of
oppressive.
sending me
Violence
pony
is the answer.
reaction pictures of, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, get your own pony reactions. Goddamn.
BB Bash. I was making fun of Shad's pronunciation of data.
I kind of switch between the two. Data, data. I don't like it's a word.
Boog. Improve everyone. Sound like pro-mass immigration. Marksman. The previous 50 and this 5 towards making my little dictator fund. Come on, Arch. You can stream this safe work parody game of World War II. You can play an SF game about dating ponies. An aficionado like yourself would love it.
I'm confused about the pro-immigration people, because shouldn't that mean they should be pro-colonialism? Because wasn't colonialism just immigration, Arch? But they hate that. And so, just another contradiction. It's confusing.
It's because the people who colonized other places are white. Obviously, only brown immigration is allowed.
Largely,
Seems
yes.
like that.
And Quimbus, chat should be allowed to see AI Vaporeon Lumi.
No, please.
I don't know if that's entirely legal. I don't think I don't even think that's Vaporeon Lumi at all. I think that's Lumi just with a ginormous fish peen.
What the fuck?
But I like the chibis. The Lumi chibis are good. It just needs less Lumi.
The chibis are so cute. It's funny because the chibi Lumis, if I remember correctly, was just a one little oopsie that happened in one of the generated pictures, and now they're just everywhere now.
They're vastly superior to the actual Lumi. That's the problem. They're small and adorable and lovable, unlike the feet fetishist.
Shut up.
Service guarantees citizenship.
You can't make me. Lum Lum.
I can't make you right now. In the future, I will, at least for a little bit.
Service
Who
guarantees
knows?
citizenship.
Maybe while you're throwing up Mexican food, you can't talk, so it'll be okay.
Body name. Shad does kind of look a cross of Arch and Sargon. Only question is a tank grown or far worse option?
Well, I mean,
Tank
there was a joke on FNT when Arch came on of how much we look alike. So
That is
was
true.
funny.
you're a very handsome man, Arch.
I am, as are you.
Thank you, sir.
The DC Titan. North Sentinel Islanders try to kill all outsiders because of history of past outsiders. Also, donated enough now, put them all towards curry. Summarize, or I won't. And with that, we are through the Super Chats.
You made sure to look at Streamlabs too?
I did.
Okay.
I made sure to look.
Okay.
Right. So then, chat, we shall wrap it up there. Thank you all
Hey, Arch.
very much for watching.
Arch,
What? What?
raid over to Rima because she's alive.
Oh, no,
And also
don't like
'cause we love
Rima.
No, Ray to Rima.
Oh, but it's just a Rima.
Ray to Rima.
But Rima gay?
Oh my god.
Oh, I can't. Wait, no, there she is. And what were her name? No, read more supers. No.
Trick or treat. Can I
Thank you for
smell
watching,
your
chat.
feet?
Thank you for generous donations, as always. And thank you, Shad, for hanging out today.
Dude, my pleasure. It's been mad fun. Loved it.
And thank you, Footfish, for measuring tank armor in feet.
Shut up, Arch.
Nope.
That I wouldn't. It's not surprising that she uses feet as a measuring, rate.
Yeah,
It's
she used for
freedom
everything.
unit.
Like-
Yeah.
No, I don't.
When she measures out ingredients for cooking, she just sticks her feet in a jar and goes like, "That's what."
Yeah, I figured so.
No.
Measures out milk, just runs it down her feet until they've reached the same level as the pot. Fucking disgusting.
No.
Trick or
Disgusting
treat.
woman.
Can I smell your feet?
And until next time, I will see you all again probably tomorrow. And Marksman,
guys.
Shad should play my little dictator as well. Silly game. Good night, chat.
Night, guys.
See yous.